Good morning, welcome back to the Ponds Forge International Sports Centre for another session of heats from the Speedo Aquatics GB 2025 Next Gen Championships. It's our final day. The week has flown by, and here are the heats we have scheduled for this morning. We'll have men's 400 metres freestyle. We will have women's 200 metres breaststroke, men's 200 metres backstroke, women's 100 metres butterfly, men's 50 metres butterfly, women's mixed classification 100 metres breaststroke, men's mixed classification 200 metres freestyle, women's mixed classification 100 freestyle, and men's mixed classification 50 metres butterfly. Thank you for tuning in, watching the stream, giving your support to the athletes. We really appreciate it. It's a great chance for us to all celebrate the performances and the achievements that everybody has managed to produce this year. And this may be the last day of action from these championships, but let me remind you, from tomorrow we'll have on the Aquatics GB website live action from the swimming at the World Aquatics Championships in Singapore. It's the first time it's ever been provided by a federation website anywhere in the world for free. All you have to do is go to the Aquatics GB website, set up a Eurovision login if you don't have one already, and you will be able to watch all of the action from the swimming at the World Aquatics Championships. The swimming begins tomorrow. Okay, men's 400 metres freestyle. We have 13 heats. 3 swimmers will be swimming in Heat 1. Julian O'Croy, Lewis Hall and Benji Sutcliffe. And they are all in the 13-14 year age group. And as we progress through these 13 heats, we will endeavour to keep you up to date on who has qualified for their respective finals. As I'm sure you appreciate, we do our absolute best to keep you up to date, but the heats come thick and fast. Here we go then, heat number 1, men's 400 metres freestyle. Lane 5 furthest from us with a good start there is Benji Sutcliffe for Ramsbottom. In lane 4, Lewis Hall for Kingston upon Hull, and Julian O'Croy for Delting Dolphins. And all 3 of these swimmers born in 2011. Actually, Lewis and Benji have their birthdays next month, so they are still 13-year-olds. They haven't had their 14th birthday as yet, but of course the age classifications are based on the year of your birth. So 28.80 for our first turn there for Julian O'Croy, and then followed by Benji Sutcliffe and Lewis Hall. 13 heats then in this event. And still out in front there, Julian O'Croy. We have a total of 19 14-year-olds, in fact 20 when you include one 13-year-old qualified for this event. And of course the fastest 10 qualify for this evening's final in each age group. Coming up to the 150 mark. Benji Sutcliffe with that gliding stroke of his, sending those hands pushing forward on every stroke. Julian O'Croy almost reaching to his furthest limit before his hand enters the water. And our next turn will be the halfway point, which will give us a good idea of potential times for everybody. 209.29 for Sutcliffe, 209.92 for O'Croy, and 210.92 there for Lewis Hall. 429 is pretty much the PB for everybody in this heat. So that's what we're aiming for. Looking for a PB perhaps if we get under 4:29 for all of these swimmers. And it's Benji Sutcliffe, Julian Lacroix and Lewis Hall in that order. Sutcliffe and Lacroix pushing each other along. We'll have 100 metres left at the next turn. Not much between our two leaders. Turning in 3:16, 3:17 maybe. Yep, 3:17.7, 3:17.8. And Lewis Hall in 3:20.8. I think there's a chance all three of these swimmers could get PBs. I think Sutcliffe and Lacroix should both break their best times the way they're going. I think we'll get under 4:29 for both. And hopefully Lewis Hall might as well. It will be pretty close. Lacroix and Sutcliffe both turning in 3:51. And Lewis Hall 3:55. I think Lewis is right on his PB. It's going to be close, but our first two here are going to swim quicker than they have before in this event. So we're looking for times under 4:29 for PBs. And in lane 3, it's Julian Lacroix who's going to get there first. 4:23.52, well done. Benji Sutcliffe 4:25.99, and for Lewis Hall 4:29.51. It's a good time nevertheless. Not far behind his PB. 2 PBs for our first two swimmers there. And Lewis Hall 1 second off his, so almost his fastest time as well. And they are our first 3 swimmers to compete, so they set the benchmark for everybody else still to come in the 13s and 14s age group. And there are still 17 swimmers in that 13 to 14 age group to come. The next heat, all 10 swimmers, or all 9 swimmers, are 13-14s. Here comes the official result, confirmation. Julian Lacroix, Benji Sutcliffe, Lewis Hall in that order. Setting the times for those who are yet to come to chase. Eight swimmers in Heat 2. Here we go. Our swimmers here are Frankie Ziertal, who is born in 2012, so he's a 13-year-old swimmer. He swims for Barnet Copthall. Then it's Tom Holt for Northumberland and Durham Performance, Harry Osborne for City of Sheffield, Henry Barker for Romsey and Tottenham, Xavier Zurban for Biggleswade, Finn Hemmant for Reading, Harry Willis for Newcastle Swim Team, and Samuel Ruff for City of Glasgow. First at the turn there was Xavier Zurban in lane 4, 29.11. 2 100ths ahead of Henry Barker in the lane next to him. And those two swimmers in the middle of the pool, Xavier Zurban and Henry Barker, moving out into first 2 places. After this heat, we've got 9 13, 14-year-olds. So the fastest 14-year-old after this heat will definitely qualify for the 13s, 14s final. So as a rule of thumb, I would say the winner of this heat will qualify for the final. It could be a swimmer from the first heat, of course. It needn't be any of these 10 who qualify. So we'll keep an eye on the times to figure out who qualifies from this heat. Right now, Henry Barker and Xavier Zerban are our leaders, with Finn Hemant third, and in fourth place, Harry Osborne in fourth place there at the turn in lane 6, 1:37.06 for Harry Osborne. Coming up to the 200-metre turn now. And Xavier Zerban going over first, with Henry Barker in second. Zerban and Barker, not much to choose between them right now. And remember, it could well be the case that one swimmer from this heat gets into the final, so that gives us every reason to really try and swim for first place here. Henry Barker getting close now to Xavier Zerban. And also look at that in lane 6, Harry Osborne right up there. So these four swimmers potentially fighting for one place in their final. We'll see. It's still Zerban with 100 metres to go, leading from Barker, then Hemant, and then Osborne. So we can be pretty sure that the heat winner now, going at the pace they are swimming, will qualify for the final. Final turn. Zerban and Barker only separated by 12 100ths of a second. The winner of the heat will be getting into the final. Anyone else will have to wait and see if their time is good enough. So Zerban and Barker tussling here for a guaranteed place in the final. And in third place, it's Harry Osborne. Now PB, anything under 4:24. Henry Barker, 4:24.83, getting the touch. And then Xavier Zerban, 4:24.99. Harry Osborne, 4:25.68 seconds, a PB for Harry. Now, it's possible all three of our first two swimmers there get into the final with those times. They'll have to wait and see, but Henry Barker will for sure with 4:24.83 seconds. Everybody else has to wait for the times posted by the 9 swimmers in this age group who are yet to swim. On to Heat 3. Our swimmers in Heat 3 are Oscar Earthroll, Thomas Rickles, Joshua Hutchinson. I should tell you the clubs they represent as well. Oscar Earthroll for Lancing College, Thomas Rickles for City of Liverpool, Joshua Hutchinson for Woking, Jackson Crabb for City of Leicester, George Bailey for Exeter City, Remy Mowbray for Amersham, Aaron McGee for Northumberland and Durham Performance, Martin Vermaat for Camden Swiss Cottage, Peter Fenson for Croydon Amphibians, and Ethan Knights for Team Ipswich. They are our 10 swimmers in this heat. We have swimmers in the 15-year age group in lanes 5, 4, 3 and 2. George Bailey, Remy Mowbray, Aaron McGee and Martin Vermaat. And our other 6 swimmers are 13, 14 swimmers. Oscar Earthroll, Thomas Rickles, Joshua Hutchinson, Jackson Crabb, Peter Fensom and Ethan Knights. I should just correct what I said from the last heat. Julian Okoye from the first heat has qualified for the final for the 13, 14-year-olds. Everybody else now has to wait and see. So everybody else is waiting to see if they qualify, but we do have one qualifier from heat one, Julian Okoye, into the final. Our leader here is Remy Mowbray, 15-year-old swimmer. And second at the moment, George Bailey, also a 15-year swimmer. In fact, our four leaders are all in the 15 years category. So our leading 13, 14-year-old, as we come to the 200-metre turn, is in fifth place in this heat, and that is Oscar Earthroll, 207.63. Leading the way in lane 4, Remy Mowbray. And then in 2 in second place, Martin Vermaat. And keep an eye on what's going on the far side of the pool in 8 and 9. Those two swimmers in 8 and 9. Thomas Rickles and Oscar Earthroll in the 13-14 age group. We've got 125 metres left to swim in this heat. After this heat, we'll have 3 13, 14-year-olds left to compete. So we'll have a good idea of qualifiers for the 13-14 final at the end of this heat. We won't have everybody confirmed, but we'll have quite a few. But in terms of 15-year-olds, it's Martin Vermaat now out in front ahead of Remy Mowbray. These two will turn first and second as we go into the last 50 metres. Vermaat 3:43.01. Remy Mowbray 3:45.14. Vermaat is finishing very strongly. Jackson Crabb, who is fifth at the moment, is also finishing strongly in lane 6. Martin Vermaat's going to set the fastest time so far. The fastest we've seen so far was 4:23.52. And a PB for Martin Vermaat there, knocking 3 seconds off his previous best with 4:14.19. Thomas Rickles, 4:19.84, our first 13, 14-year swimmer to finish. And Thomas Rickles certainly in the 13-14 final with that time. Qualifies for the 13-14 final for sure from that heat. Thomas Rickles and Jackson Crabb. Joshua Hutchinson will have to wait and see if that's fast enough there in 7th place, 4:24.97. All of those 13, 14-year-olds have a chance of qualifying, but we still have 3 swimmers to come in their age group. Here comes heat 4. Our swimmers in heat 4 are Samuel Green, Harry Whitfield, Samuel Green for Bassett Law, Harry Whitfield for Darlington, Atai Parnes Mulcher for Camden Swiss Cottage, Alexander Brown for Northumberland and Durham Performance, Frederick Brown from Guildford City, Zach Bourne Whittington from Kingston upon Hull, Leon Ginther for Portsmouth North Sea, Tarek Blook for Worcester, Henry Gillam for Camden Swiss Cottage, and Archie Maguire for Northumberland and Durham Performance. From the last heat, I can tell you that we had 3 guaranteed qualifiers for the 13-14 final. Thomas Rickles, Jackson Crabb and Joshua Hutchinson does qualify. Those swimmers all from the previous heats. The full list of qualifiers so far for the 13-14 final: Thomas Rickles, Jackson Crabb, Julian LaCroix, Henry Barker, Joshua Hutchinson, Xavier Zerban and Harry Osborne. And we do have one 13-14 swimmer in this heat, Archie Maguire, in lane 0. Everyone else here in the 15s. So we probably have 2 places in the 15s final up for grabs here. We've got 8 15-year-old swimmers still to come. So we'll keep an eye on the situation for our 15-year-old swimmers as we go through. And turning first at the moment in lane 8 is Harry Whitfield for Darlington, ahead of Leon Ginther in lane 3. Third there at the last turn in lane 6 was Frederick Brown for Guildford City. Coming to the halfway point then. And our leader is going to be Harry Whitfield. Turning then in 2:05.67. And Leon Ginther now in lane 3, increasing his pace. Henry Gillam in lane 1, 2 lanes from the bottom of our picture. Also picked up the pace over the last 50. He was 6th at that turn, but I think he is closing the gap on 5th. Ginther's our new leader at this turn. 2:38.49. And Atai Parnes Molko coming up as well now that we're into the second half of the race, up in lane 7. 3 lanes from the top of the picture into second place. And at this next turn, we will have 100 metres left to swim. Ginther, Parnes Molko, and then Zach Bourne-Whittington in lane 4. Also going quickly still, Henry Gillam in lane 1 at the bottom of the picture. He's 5th now and potentially swimming up into 4th place. And in 7th, don't forget, Archie Maguire, our 13-14 swimmer. He's in the bottom lane as we look here. And he is trying to get a place in the 13-14 final with this swim. Right, Leon Ginther should get in the 15-year-old final with this swim, I would think. The fastest time we've seen so far, 4:17.50. If we get underneath that, then Leo will be in the final. Here we go, into the last 5 metres. And it's a PB, 4:13.40. Leon Ginther will be in the 15 years final with that time. And Atai Parnes Molko will get into the 15 years final as well with 4:14.80. I would expect there's a slim chance that will be the 11th fastest time. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. And in lane 7, Archie Maguire, 4:22.40. That qualifies him for the 13-14 final. So Archie Maguire qualifies. Well swum everyone there. PB for Leon Ginther into the 15 years final. Atai Parnes Molko, well, there are enough swimmers still to come that could just push him out. So 4:14.8, we've got to keep an eye on that time, whether he will qualify for the 15 years final. On to heat 5. Our swimmers in Heat 5, Maximus Major for City of Newport, Caden Frampton for Millfield, Hayden Sanders for Bromley, Cameron Hadow for University of Aberdeen Performance, Edward Evans for Beckenham, Aidan Anderson for University of Aberdeen Performance, Dilana Satavicius for Mount Kelly, Owen Twigger for City of Swansea, Lucas Christie for Kingston upon Hull, and Charles Phipps for Millfield. And first then at the turn in lane 0, Charles Phipps in a time there of 28.28 seconds. So this is heat 4, and our swimmers in this heat, we've got two 13, 14-year-olds, Hayden Sanders in 7, Charles Phipps in 0. We have 15-year-olds in 9 and 8, Maximus Major, Caden Frampton. And in 4 and 3, Aidan Anderson and Dilana Satavicius. And also in lane 1, Lucas Christie. So we'll keep you up to date on qualifications for their respective finals. Our leader is Edward Evans in lane 5 here. And coming into the turn in 5, Edward Evans in 1:29.87. Charles Phipps in 2nd. Aidan Anderson in 3rd. No real movements in the positions behind them as yet. As we make our way now to the halfway turn and the 200-metre mark next. At halfway then, Edward Evans turns in 2:01.17. Charles Phipps 2nd in 2:02.75. Then Aidan Anderson, Owen Twigger, Cameron Haddow. Charles Phipps, remember, in 2nd place is a 13-14 swimmer. Hayden Sanders in lane 7 is also a 13-14 swimmer. So we're watching lane 7 and lane 0 as well for places in their final. Charles Phipps and Hayden Sanders, by the way, are the last 13-14 swimmers to swim. Edward Evans still leading as we come to the final 100 metres. And Aidan Anderson in lane 4, I think, closing in on Charles Phipps at this turn. Not much between them. Evans, then Anderson, and then Phipps. And actually the gaps between them have been increasing. Caden Frampton in 4th in lane 8 is closing up. On the far side of the pool there, Caden Frampton. We're coming up now to the final turn. It's Edward Evans, followed in there by Aidan Anderson, then Charles Phipps, and then Caden Frampton. And Aidan Anderson in 2nd place has actually closed that gap over the previous 50. Here we go then, final 25, and it's Edward Evans out in front. Edward, a 16-year-old, so he'll be setting the fastest time so far for them, for 16-year-old swimmers. Edward Evans finishing first in 4:07.36. That's a 7-second PB. Well done. Aidan Anderson second there, 4:09.97. Aidan Anderson will qualify for the 15 years final with that time. Caden Frampton 4:12.83. He'll qualify for the 15 years final for sure. And we look at Charles Phipps, 4:13.11. He's our fastest 13-14 swimmer so far, so he qualifies for the 13-14 final. Hayden Sanders, 4:19.57, also into the final for the 13-14-year-olds. Anyone under 4:14.8 there for 15-year-olds will have qualified for sure. Here we go, on to heat 6. Our swimmers in Heat 6 are Oscar Gavell for City of Sheffield, Matthew Sawyers for Wigan Best, Hugo Jones for Team Bath, Thomas Swales for City of Sheffield, Jack Kears for Guildford City, Thomas Chittock for Borough of Waltham Forest Gators, Connor Aspinall for East Lothian, Ollie Lambert for City of Liverpool, Alexander Chew for York City Baths, and Dylan Madigan for City of Liverpool. We've got the full list of qualifiers now for the 13-14 age group. Charles Phipps, Hayden Sanders, Thomas Rickles, Jackson Crabb, Archie Maguire, Julian Acroy, Henry Barker, Joshua Hutchinson, Xavier Zurban and Harry Osborne. Oscar Earthroll missing out on a place in the final, I think, by 0.29 of a second. We have 7 swimmers, I think, now qualified for the 15 years final. Aidan Anderson, Caden Frampton, Leon Ginther, Martin Vermaat. Ate Parnas Molko is in the final, we can confirm now. Zach Bourne-Whittington and Henry Gillam. And we still have 3 swimmers in the 15 years to come. So in this heat, our leader in lane 7 is Hugo Jones, who's a 17s-18 swimmer. We also have in the 17s-18s Thomas Chittock in lane 4, and everybody else in the 16 years age group. Now leading is Thomas Swales in lane 6, overtaking Jack Kears as well. As we come through to the halfway point at 200 metres, and these 3 are certainly our leading pack: Thomas Swales, Jack Kears and Hugo Jones. At the turn then, Swales, Kears and Jones. 201.5, 201.71 and 202.11 at the turn for those 3 swimmers. So remember that in lane 6, Thomas Swales, and in lane 5, Jack Kears, they are both 16-year-old swimmers. We've got 125 metres left to swim then. I think there's a chance that the fastest 16-year-old swimmer in this heat could get into the 16 years final. Because we've got 10 16-year-old swimmers to come after this. So there is a chance that our leader here, Thomas Swales, could get in the 16 years final the way he is going in lane 6. So it's Thomas Swales leading, then Hugo Jones, then Jack Kears. And who else can get up with them here? Swales, Jones, Kears at the turn. 4th then, Dylan Madigan. But our leading 3 are actually increasing their lead over everybody else. Ollie Lambert in lane 2 is going pretty well. He was 6th at that turn. He might come through to set a quicker time than we would expect. But here are our leading 2. Then they've broken away. Thomas Swales and Hugo Jones. They've got PBs of 4:13, and they are both smashing those. Thomas Swales 4:08.26. So Thomas Swales in with a chance of the final in the 16-year age group. Hugo Jones 4:08.56 in the 17s and 18s. Matthew Sawyers 4:11.55. That's a PB by a couple of seconds. Jack Kears with a PB 4:11.89. Ollie Lambert there 4:11.92, also with a personal best. And Dylan Madigan in 6th place there with a season's best of 4:12.34. On to heat 7. Well, we've got 8 swimmers competing in this heat. It's Thomas Rubin in 9 for Mount Kelly. Then we have the empty lane. Leo Talbot is in lane 7 for Bolton Metro. It's George Daintith for City of Liverpool, Harry Cox for Thanet, Joseph Parsons for City of Cardiff, Daniel Payton for Northumberland and Durham Performance, and the 2 swimmers closest to us, Andrew Clavis for Warrington Warriors and Vinnie Owen for City of Cardiff. In terms of age groups then, at the top of the pool, Thomas Rubin is a 16-year swimmer. So too in lane 3, Daniel Payton. And Leo Talbot in 7 is a 15-year swimmer. Everybody else 17s and 18s. After 100 metres then, let's see who is our leader. It's Leo Talbot in 58.37 seconds. But Talbot only just ahead of Harry Cox and Andrew Clavis. So these 3 will lead us into the turn at 150 metres. Clavis cutting the gap between him and the leader over that last 50. Vinnie Owen in lane 0. He was 6th at that turn, but he's swimming just as quickly as our leaders at the moment. So he is gaining on 5th and 4th. George Daintith in 5th at that last turn. And Joseph Parsons was 4th. Talbot 2nd at that turn. Clavis turning 1st. Followed by Parsons, Daintith and Thomas. Into the second half of the race then, and swimmers start to change their rhythm. And Clavis certainly going quicker than anyone else right now in lane 1. He's picked up the pace. And George Daintith up to 2nd now in lane 6. Building some momentum now, George Daintith in 6. 2nd at that turn. So we've got a 15-year-old swimmer 3 lanes from the top, Leo Talbot. 16-year swimmers in lanes 3 and 9. Reuben Thomas in 9. And Daniel Payton in 3. But it's Andrew Clavis out in front in the 17s and 18s age group here. And he's going to turn for the final time. 3:36.49 at that turn. Andrew Clavis has got a PB of 4:12.08. He's going to beat that quite comfortably here. Looking at something around the 4:09 mark for Andrew Clavis, I would think, as he swims down this final 50. And remember, Leo Talbot in lane 7 is a 15-year-old, but Andrew Clavis, PB of 4:12. And he swims 4:06.93. George Daintith and Leo Talbot touching together in 4:09.07. They're in different age groups. Leo Talbot in the 15 years age group. And that is the fastest time by a 15-year-old. So he qualifies for the 15 years final with that performance. In terms of 16-year-olds, I think Reuben Thomas will be in the final, and possibly Daniel Payton too. It does depend on the swimmers still to come. They are not guaranteed at this stage. Here comes Heat 8. And we have 9 swimmers in Heat 8. Patrick Neal for City of Leeds, Daniel Harris for City of Leicester, Rufus Parry for Wickham District, Zach Slater for Edinburgh University, Daniel Belsey for Hatfield, Eden Rowe for Northampton, Ethan Potter for City of Sheffield, Lucas Bryant for Maidenhead, and Dominic Workman for City of Liverpool. First into the turn then in lane 2, that is Lucas Bryant. And Lucas's time at that first 50 was, it was Ethan Potter who was first at the turn, and his time there 27.67 at the 50-metre mark in this 400-metre heats. From the last heat, only Leo Talbot is guaranteed a place in his final, by the way. Everybody else waiting to see if they qualify for their finals. Okay, out in front then, Ethan Potter. He's in the 17s and 18s age group. We have 3 16-year-olds, 2 16-year-olds in this heat, and they are both in the near lanes. Lucas Bryant and Dominic Workman, the 2 swimmers closest to us. They are the 16-year-old swimmers in this heat. Everybody else in the 17s and 18s age group. Ethan Potter looking very good here. Going out very fast. So Ethan, who has swum 4:10 this season, but last year did swim 4:05 for this event. So I wonder if we can get anything like that here for Ethan Potter. At the halfway stage, 1:58.93. Second at the turn then Eden Rowe. Eden in 2:02.10. 7th and 8th at the turns there, Dominic Workman and Lucas Bryant. Remember, they're in the 16 years age group and they are potential qualifiers for the 16 years final. But Ethan Potter still extending his lead over everybody else with every passing 50 metres. This is really good. 125 metres left for Ethan to swim. Here we go. 100 metres to go at the turn for Ethan Potter. 3:00.99. Well, he's got a PB of 4:05. And I think that is under threat here. This is probably under 4:05 pace for Ethan Potter. Going very, very well. The 2 swimmers closest to us, Lucas Bryant and Dominic Workman, both trying to get into the 16 years final, remember. Ethan Potter, 3:32.05. Remember, the PB is 4:05.27 for Ethan Potter. He's going to set the fastest time, it looks now, by anybody in the heat so far. 4:05.27 is the PB to beat. Ethan Potter is going to get under that in a time of 4:02.34. 3-second PB. That's brilliant. Second then, Eden Rowe, 4:10.65. Lucas Bryant in the 16 years age group getting up to third, 4:11.56. And Dominic Workman, 4:11.85. So there are our results. Dominic Workman and Lucas Bryant, I think they'll be in the final for the 16-year-olds with those performances. 4:11, yes. Well, we'll have to wait and see the exact qualifiers. Here comes heat 9. Our swimmers in Heat 9, Ryan Wall for City of Cambridge, Ashby Edmonds for Mount Kelly, Oliver Murray for Millfield, Elliot Lawton for City of Coventry, Oliver Gillett for Swansea University, Joseph Hall for City of Leeds, Samuel Sutcliffe for Ramsbottom, Joshua Keogh for Bolton Metro, Thomas Jennings for Portsmouth North Sea, and Henry Shepherd for Bromley. I can tell you from the last heat, Lucas Bryant definitely qualifies for the 16 years final, but it is wait and see for the others. Here we have our leader in lane 2, Joshua Keogh, swimming in the 17s and 18s age group, just like Elliot Lawton, who was second there, and Oliver Gillett, who was third, and Thomas Jennings, who was fourth. Oliver Murray, fifth there at the turn. He is a 16 years swimmer. Henry Shepherd, who is sixth, he's a 15 years swimmer. So too is Ashby Edmonds in lane 8, 2 lanes from the top of the screen. Ashby Edmonds in lane 8 is our fastest 15 years swimmer. And Henry Shepherd in lane 0, our second fastest in terms of swims earlier this year during the qualifying period for this event. Leading now is Oliver Gillett in lane 5. We're coming up to the 200-metre turn. And Gillett turning in 1:59.30, followed there by Elliot Lawton and Joshua Keogh. Oliver Gillett, the fastest swimmer at the moment in the pool. But we've seen a lot of these swimmers swimming 800 freestyle earlier this week and doing very well. Ashby Edmonds, for example, won the gold medal in the 15 years 800 freestyle. I remember Joshua Keogh having a great swim in his 800 heat. So there are potentially strong back ends here in this 400 metres. 125 to go then. Oliver Gillett looking very good, our leader. Second, Elliot Lawton. Let's see, is Gillett increasing his lead? He is. And catching up ever so slightly, Thomas Jennings, 2 lanes from the bottom. And also Oliver Murray picked up the pace over that last 50. He turned in 6th there. Oliver Murray in lane 7. He's certainly closing the gap on the rest. Final turn. Gillett first. And he's had his lead cut by half a second by Elliot Lawton. Samuel Sutcliffe is swimming quicker than anyone else in the pool right now. He turned in 5th there, Samuel, in lane 3. And he is a 16 years swimmer. He's finishing very strongly. He turned 5th. I think he's up to 3rd now. Oliver Gillett then is going to lead these swimmers to the wall. He's got a PB of 4:08.29. That is going to be broken comfortably. 4:05.19 new PB. Samuel Sutcliffe up to 2nd. 4:06.89. So Samuel Sutcliffe will qualify for the 16 years final for sure with that performance. Henry Shepherd for a 15-year-old, 4:07.88. That is our fastest swim by a 15-year-old. He'll be the fastest qualifier for the final. Ashby Edmonds, 4:15.23. He's the second fastest qualifier for the 15 years final. Oliver Murray, 4:08.2, will also get in the 16 years final with that swim. Everyone else has to wait and see. Here comes Heat 10. Our swimmers in Heat 10 are Hugh Mason-Williams for City of Birmingham, Harry Chandler for Worcester, Max Harvey for City of Liverpool, Lucas Ellis-Sixsmith for Cambrian Aquatics Academy, James Boddy for Garriock, Luke Moore for Leatherhead, Kenzie McLean for Perth City, Toby Bullock for Midlothian, Samuel Williams for Wickham District, and Ethan Stubbs-Green for Millfield. And first at that turn, 2 lanes from the top of the picture, was Harry Chandler in 26.41 seconds. Harry clearly going up deliberately quickly here, getting himself ahead of everyone else. Harry's got a good record in the 100 freestyle, 50 and 100 fly and 200 fly. So showing a strong start here. Comfortably leading at the 100 metre turn as well in the time of 55.98 seconds there. From the last heats, I think we gave you all of the qualifiers. We do now have the 15 years final finalists complete. Henry Shepherd, Leo Talbot, Aidan Anderson, Caden Frampton, Leon Ginther, Martin Vermaat, Atai Parnes-Molko, Ashby Edmonds, Zach Bourne-Whittington and Henry Gillam. And in the 16 years so far, I think we've got 6 swimmers who are definitely qualified. Samuel Sutcliffe, Edward Evans, Oliver Murray, Thomas Swales, Matthew Sawyers and Lucas Bryant. In this heat, then in terms of age groups, they are all 17 and 18 years swimmers. So everybody in this heat swimming in the same competition. And the fastest time so far in the 17-18 age group, of course, 4:02.33 by Ethan Potter. Still looking very good then, Harry Chandler into the second half of this heat. And he'll turn now in 2:27.73. Second at that turn was Ellis-Sixsmith, 2:30.71. We've got 125 metres to go then. And it's still Harry Chandler looking very good. Harry's fastest swim this season is 4:07.77, but last year he swam a 4:02.43 in this event. He's got the fastest PB of anyone in this heat. Harry Chandler then, still looking very strong. He's actually increasing his lead with every passing metre. I don't think anyone's getting closer to him. I think the gap between them continues to increase. He wants to turn under 3:30, I would think, at this wall. It's going to be close to that. 3:31.06. Well, that PB of 4:02.43, it's going to be around that time. It depends how much energy he's got left in the tank. I think the lead is being cut now. So our chasing group of swimmers here are James Boddy, Lucas Ellis-Smith and Kenzie McLean. Remember, all of these swimmers in the same age group, 17s and 18s. Harry Chandler's PB 4:02.43. It's going to be just outside that. It's 4:02.74. But it's a season's best by 5 seconds. Well done, Harry Chandler. Lucas Ellis-Sixsmith, 4:04.69. That's a PB. James Boddy, 4:04.91, our third swimmer there. Also with a PB. It's a case of wait and see. I think Harry Chandler will get in the 17s and 18s final with that time. It's not guaranteed. I would say our first 5 swimmers there all have a chance. Samuel Williams very much borderline with 4:10.62. So our first 5 swimmers there waiting to see if they qualify for the 17s and 18s final. Heat 11 now. Monty Smith going into the water now. I don't think that was a faulty start, so Monty Smith may well be allowed to swim. Our starter had asked the swimmers to stand down before Monty Smith went into the water. And the timekeeper and turn judge behind the block in lane 7, I think, confirming to Monty Smith that that's not a faulty start. So we'll have another go at the start. We'll clear the pool. I can confirm from the last heat, Harry Chandler and Lucas Ellis-Sixsmith are qualifiers for the 17s and 18s final. They are the only guaranteed qualifiers from the last heat. Now that we've cleared the pool, we should be ready then to start heat 11. Here we go then. Heat number 11. All 10 swimmers still in the heat. And the 10 swimmers are Matthew Defanes for Tigers of Jersey, Tom Belt for Mount Kelly, Monty Smith for Wickham District, Jack Bamborough for City of Cardiff, Hayden Annan for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson, Samuel Cook for the University of Birmingham, Jake Chesworth for Maxwell, Aidan Turner for Newcastle Swim Team, Adam Macaulay-Wright for Portsmouth North Sea, and Lucas Gallant-Tracy for Teddington. We have two 16-year swimmers in this heat. Monty Smith in lane 7 and Aidan Turner in lane 2. And Monty and Aidan are our last two 16-year-old swimmers to compete. They're the fastest two 16-year-old swimmers this year. Now, I think we could get 3 or 4 qualifiers for the final of the 17s and 18s from this heat. Tom Belt in lane 8 a 17 and 18 swimmer. So too Jack Bamborough in 6, Hayden Annan in 5, Jake Chesworth in 3, Adam Macaulay-Wright in 1, and Lucas Gallant-Tracy in 0. I can tell you that anyone who swims under 4:04.90 will be guaranteed a place in the 17s and 18s final. So if you are cheering on a swimmer in that age group, 4:04.90 guarantees you a place in the final. And anyone outside that time will have to wait and see. It just won't be confirmed. It doesn't mean they won't qualify if they're outside that time. It just means they'll have to wait and see what times come after in the remaining heats. But anyone under 4:04.90 for 17s and 18s will qualify from this heat for sure. Coming up to the halfway point then, and our leader, Hayden Annan, is in that 17-18 age group in lane 5. So too Jack Bamborough, who is turning second. Third at the turn was Tom Belt. And of our 16-year-olds there, in 4th place, Aidan Turner, 2:01.23 at the turn. Monty Smith in lane 7. Remember, also a 16-year-old. And those two may well prove to be our two fastest 16-year-olds. And you have to bear that in mind when you watch these heats. That we have the mixtures of age groups. And it's possible to finish 9th or 10th in your heat and still be the fastest qualifier for your age group's final. So we'll try to keep our eyes on those performances and make sure we figure out who qualifies for the finals as we go through. We've got 100 metres left to swim after this turn. Bamborough and Smith, Hayden Annan and Jack Bamborough, sorry, side by side at the turn, and then Tom Belt was third. Monty Smith is our leading 16-year-old, ahead of Aidan Turner, but they both look like they are heading for their final as being among the fastest qualifiers for 16-year-old swimmers. Right then, our leaders here at the final turn. Hayden Annan and Jack Bamborough. We're looking for potential times, I would say, around the 4:04, 4:05 mark for both of them. If you get under 4:04.90, you're definitely in the 17s and 18s final. Look at Tom Belt there, top of the picture, and he is going to get right up among the swimmers here at the end. 4:04.90 will definitely get you in the 17s and 18s final at this stage. So Hayden Annan qualifies, Jack Bamborough qualifies, Tom Belt may well qualify as well, but I can't guarantee that at this stage. Not guaranteed. Lane 4, Adam McCauley-Wright, 4:07, or in fourth, Adam McCauley-Wright, 4:07.40. Our leading 16-year-old Monty Smith there qualifies for the 16 years final. Aidan Turner also qualifies for the 16 years final with those two times. So Monty Smith and Aidan Turner will both swim again later. Hayden Annan and Jack Bamborough will both swim again later as well. And we'll have to look it up to confirm whether Tom Belt is in the final for 17s and 18s. On to heat 12. And our swimmers in Heat 12 are Daniel Codeverde, Moritz Baumgartner. Daniel Codeverde for Stockport Metro, Moritz Baumgartner for Loughborough University, Nathan Whiffin for Loughborough University, Luke McGee for Loughborough University, Alexander Sargent for Swansea University, Luke Hornsey for Edinburgh University, Sean McCann for Loughborough University, Josh Williams for Swansea University, Thomas Trebilco for Swansea University, and Morgan Davis for Mount Kelly. 27.00, our fastest opening 50 there from Luke Hornsey in lane 4. We have a 16-year swimmer in this heat, Daniel Codeverde, on the far side of the pool. Daniel is our fastest swimmer in the 16 years age group for this event this year. We have a 17s, 18s swimmer in lane 0, Morgan Davis, closest to us. And everybody else is in the 9 qualifier. They are not necessarily missing out on the final, but we are waiting to see what times qualify for the other finals. Sean McCann turning first, 125.81 after 150 metres, followed by Nathan Whiffin in lane 7. In lane 0 there, Morgan Davis was 7th at the turn. Remember, he's in the 17s and 18s. And Daniel Codeverde was 9th at the turn, 129.06, but he's in the 16-year age group. So effectively swimming in a different race to everybody else in this heat. It's still Sean McCann leading Nathan Whiffin at the halfway point. This is a fast heat. The fastest time we've seen so far was in heat 8. That was 4:02.33 from Ethan Potter. We're going to get a few swimmers underneath that 4:02.33 time, I think, in this heat. It's still Sean McCann leading Nathan Whiffin, but Whiffin did close the gap over that last 50 metres. The gap between our two leaders closed, and now Nathan Whiffin, I think, just edging into first place. Sean McCann is responding. 100 metres to go at this turn. I think Whiffin will just get to the wall first. It all depends on how they turn. Well, only 8/100ths of a second between them at the wall. Virtually touching together there. But Nathan Whiffin did obviously close the gap over the previous 50 metres. We've got 75 to go then. So our leading swimmers are in the 19s and over age group here. And we've still got 7 swimmers scheduled to swim in the 19s and overs in the final heat. So our leading swimmers, Sean McCann and Nathan Whiffin, will qualify for their final as long as they go under 4:02.33 here, for sure. Finishing strongly, Luke Hornsey as well. So as a rule of thumb, 4:02.33 is a definite place in the final for the first three swimmers here. Nathan Whiffen, Sean McCann and Luke Hornsey, they'll all qualify with those times. Other swimmers have to wait and see. Now, Daniel Codaverde has just set the fastest time in our 16 years age group, 4:00.77. So he's in his final as the fastest qualifier. He'll be in lane 4. Morgan Davis, 4:02.80. That qualifies for the 17-18s final as well. So when you look at this results list, remember that Daniel Codaverde into the 16 years final in 6th place there. Morgan Davis in 8th into the 17s and 18s. And our first three swimmers, Nathan Whiffen, Sean McCann and Hornsey there, they'll all qualify for the 19s and overs. Other swimmers have to wait and see. It all depends on what happens in this heat, Heat 13, our final heat. And our swimmers in the final heat then are Joshua O'Brien for City of Cardiff, Samuel Sterry for Tigers of Jersey, Arthur Logan for Edinburgh University, Harry Wynne Jones for Loughborough University, Freddie Ashley Sparks for Wickham District, Tyler Melbourne Smith for Loughborough University, David Annis for University of Stirling, James Froggatt for City of Birmingham, Ethan Kelly, City of Liverpool, and Llewellyn Porter for Camden Swiss Cottage. And in this heat, the two swimmers closest to us, Ethan Kelly and Llewellyn Porter, as well as Samuel Sterry, 2 lanes from the top. They're all 17s and 18 swimmers. And our other 7 swimmers here are in the 19s and overs age group. Turning first after 100 metres, Tyler Melbourne Smith, 55.57, just ahead of Freddie Ashley Sparks and James Froggatt. Our leading 17, 18-year-old there in lane 0 in 6th place, that is Llewellyn Porter. Coming up to the 150-metre turn then, and we have 8 swimmers, 9 swimmers really, very close together still at this stage. Melbourne Smith, Ashley Sparks, and then it was David Annis and James Froggatt at that turn, just ahead of Harry Wynne Jones. Okay, we're coming up to the halfway point then in this heat, and it looks like Freddie Ashley Sparks has started to accelerate. The gap was 0.29 between our 2 leaders at the last turn. And it's cut by 1/10 of a second there by Freddie Ashley Sparks. Also swimming pretty quickly at the moment, Joshua O'Brien in the top lane. He turned there in 7th place, but he's now swimming as quickly as our 2 leaders. So Joshua O'Brien, he was 7th at the last turn. Have a look at our leaderboard in the bottom left of the screen. Still 7th, but swimming the last 50 in 30.01. He's still one of our quickest swimmers in there, and David Annis in lane 3 is also picking up the pace to get up into 3rd place now. We'll have 100 metres left to swim now at this turn. Melbourne Smith, Ashley Sparks. Wynne Jones now up to 3rd at that turn in lane 6. And David Annis in 4th. Okay, the fastest time we've seen so far, 3:55.51. How many swimmers are going to be under that time? Final turn, finishing very strongly in lane 2, James Froggatt here. Froggatt, the quickest over that last 50, up to 4th at the turn. Ethan Kelly in lane 1, he was 9th at the turn, but he's finishing very strongly as well. It's James Froggatt really coming through in lane 2. So here we go then. The fastest time so far was 3:55.51. Not quite as quick as that from Tyler Melbourne Smith, but he'll be in the 19s and overs final with that time. James Froggatt, 3:55.92 into the final. Arthur Logan, 3:56.81 into his final. Harry Wynne Jones, 3:56.96. He'll qualify with that time. Freddie Ashley Sparks, 3:56.98. He'll qualify. David Annis will qualify as well for sure. We have to wait and see for others there. Llewellyn Porter, Ethan Kelly with 4:00.89, 4:01. They qualify for their final as well. Samuel Sterry also into the 17s and 18s final with his time there. So lots of great swims there in the men's 400 metres freestyle. Well done to everyone who qualified for their finals. Check on the Aquatics GB website with the results page for the confirmation of all of the qualifiers for finals. I'll give you a quick rundown. The list of swimmers who definitely qualified for their finals in that last heat, they were Llewellyn Porter, Ethan Kelly, Samuel Sterry in the 17s and 18s, and in the 19s and overs, Tyler Melbourne Smith, James Froggatt, Arthur Logan, Harry Wynne Jones, Freddie Ashley Sparks and David Annis. They all qualified with their swims there. Okay, women's 200 metres breaststroke now, 12 heats. This is heat 1 with 4 swimmers. Our 4 swimmers in this heat then are Elizabeth Grant for Tigers of Jersey, Ashira Budatoki for City of Coventry, Matilda Boyce for Bracknell and Wokingham, and Rosie Brogden for City of Leeds. And in this heat, all of our swimmers are in the 13-14 age group. Leading at the moment then in lane 5, that is Ashira Budatoki for City of Coventry. And Budatoki turning first there in 36.36 seconds. All of these, well, 3 of these swimmers born in 2011. Rosie Brogden counts as a 13-year swimmer born in 2012. All of the swimmers in this heat have a PB in the area of 2 minutes and 47 seconds. Shira Budatoki with that high recovery and long glide on every stroke. Looking very strong right now, 118.12 at the halfway turn. Second at the turn there was Elizabeth Grant, then Matilda Boyce and Rosie Brogden. Shira Budatoki looking strong at this stage. Now, Ashira's PB was set last season, and she's had a swim this season that was only 0.6 of a second slower than her PB. So this might well be a chance for Ashira to set a new personal best here in this heat. There are 20 swimmers in the 13s and 14s age group scheduled to swim in this event. The fastest 10, of course, in each age group qualify for their final. So if you set one of the fastest 10 times, you come back for the evening session to have another swim with the adrenaline pumping. So here we go, Ashira Budatoki swimming into the last 15 metres. PB 2:47. It's going to be pretty close to that. Can we get under 2:47 for Ashira? Not quite. Pretty good swim though. 2:48.56. Elizabeth Grant second with 2:50.55. Then Matilda Boyce 2:52.58 and Rosie Brogden 2:56.54. Well swum everyone in that heat. And there you see confirmation, 2:48.56 is our fastest time after heat 1. And we have 16 swimmers still to come in the 13-14 age group. In heat 2, we have 10 swimmers. And you'll see half of them are in the 13s and 14s, and half are in the 15s age group. Our swimmers in Heat 2 then are Maisie Fisher for Millfield, Amit Meltz for Harrogate District, Charlotte Higgins for University of Aberdeen Performance, Ava Highfield for Market Drayton, Georgia Atkinson for City of Cambridge, Chloe Mahoney for Brompton, Ada Thied for Camden Swiss Cottage, Molly Greatbatch for Bishop Stortford, Maisie Simpson Dawson for Repton Swimming, and Daisy May Dole for Basildon and Phoenix. Chloe Mahoney going out quickest here in the first 50. Chloe's in the 13-14 age group. Chloe was born in 2012. So she's a 13-year-old swimmer, but the 13s and 14s compete together. The other 13s and 14s in this heat are Ava Highfield in lane 6, Georgia Atkinson in 5, Ada Thied in 3, and Daisy May Dole in lane 0. And the other 5 swimmers in this heat are all 15 years swimmers. There's a chance that our fastest 13-14s in this heat could qualify for their final. There are 10 13-14 swimmers still to come after this heat. So I think probably you've got to set the fastest 13-14 time in this heat to have a chance of the final. Maybe the first 2 swimmers in the 13-14 age group will have a chance from this heat. Chloe Mahoney out in front then with George Atkinson second, and they are both 13-14 swimmers. So they're in with a chance of a place in their final with these performances. Anything under 2:47 is a good swim for anyone in this heat. So let's see how we go as we get into the last 50 metres. Chloe Mahoney turning first, followed by Georgia Atkinson. Third at that turn, Charlotte Higgins, then Molly Greatbatch and Ada Thied. Amit Meltz was 6th at the turn. Looking very strong now, Ada Thied in lane 3 with a long gliding stroke. But even stronger, Georgia Atkinson in lane 5, our leader. And looking like she's finishing very strongly here. So Georgia Atkinson will be in with a chance of a place in the 13 final with her time here. We want to get under 2:47 for many swimmers as we can. Georgia Atkinson does that comfortably. 2:43.65, a new PB. And a possible place in her final there. Ada Thied was second, and she could get in the final with 2:45.66 as well. So we'll keep an eye on the 13 and 14 swimmers to come to see whether those first 2 swims get in the 13-14 final. And Amit Meltz there. We still have 16 swimmers, I think, to come in the 15-year age group, so we'll wait and see on that time as well. Here comes Heat 3. Our swimmers in Heat 3 are Joanne Andrews for Ellesmere College, Evie Kick for City of Sheffield, Anna Farr for Ellesmere College, Isla Stewart for City of Peterborough, Sophie Kilby for Seagulls, Lexi O'Connor for Basildon and Phoenix, Eve Hibbert for City of Sheffield, Abby Whitfield for Northumberland and Durham Performance, Savannah Simpson-Jones for Guildford City, and Eva Newman for Mount Kelly. We have 13-14 swimmers in lanes 8 and 1. That's Evie Kick, 2 lanes from the top of the picture, and Savannah Simpson-Jones, 2 lanes from the bottom of the picture. And we have 15-year-old swimmers, Joanne Andrews in 9, Isla Stewart in 6, Sophie Kilby in 5, Eve Hibbert in 3, and Eva Newman in lane 0. And we have 17, 18 swimmers, Anna Farr in lane 7, Lexi O'Connor in 4, and Abby Whitfield in 2. Our leader then is Sophie Kilby in the middle of the pool with Anna Farr alongside her, 3 names from the top of the picture. And also going with the leaders, Abby Whitfield in lane 2. And Abby actually gets to the wall first there, 177.73. So she was the quickest over that second 50 Abby Whitfield. And she's going very well here, 3 lanes from the bottom of the picture. So it's Abby Whitfield, I would say, just ahead now of Anna Farr, with Sophie Kilby third, but Eve Hibbert now coming through in lane 3 very strongly as well. Swims under 2:46 would be very good for anyone in this heat. Not much to choose between our 2 leaders, Abby Whitfield and Anna Farr there at the turn. 1/100th of a second, in fact, as they hit that wall. Third at the turn, Joanne Andrews at the top of the picture. And 4th, Eve Hibbert. Evie Kick was 5th at the turn. She's a 13-14 swimmer. So we're keeping an eye on her time. But our leader is Anna Farr, and swimming very strongly now at the end of this race. Joanne Andrews and Evie Kick at the top of the picture. Anna Farr coming into the wall. We want to get as many under 2:46 as we can here. Our winner, Anna Farr in 2:42.93. Second, Abby Whitfield, 2:43.44. Third there, Joanne Andrews, 2:43.99. That's a PB. And 4th, Lexi O'Connor, 2:44.26. Evie Kick then with a time in 5th place of 2:44.54. I'm pretty sure that's a place in the 13s, 14s final for her. And Savannah Simpson-Jones, 2:49.52. We wait and see if that gets in the 13-14 final as well. Here comes Heat 4. Our swimmers in Heat 4 are Maurice McNee for Sandwell Aquatics, Katie Coventry for Northumberland and Durham Performance, Ella Thompson for Perth City, Emily Lyons for Winsford, Kayla Smith for City of Glasgow, Erin Jones for Newcastle Swim Team, Olivia Taylor for Leamington Spa, Isabel Hall for City of Leeds, Yan Ting Emily Pack for City of Cambridge, and Rose Harrison for Tiverton. And our leader after 50 metres is going to be Olivia Taylor in lane 3. Actually just touched out by Emily Lyons in lane 6. But they are out leading 2 after 50 metres. So the age groups in this heat, we have one 13-14 swimmer, Isabel Hall, 3 names in the bottom of our picture. We have 2 15-year-old swimmers in lanes 5 and 3, Kayla Smith and Olivia Taylor. We have 16-year-old swimmers, Emily Lyons in... Oh, sorry, there are 3 15-year swimmers. I missed out Ella Thompson there in lane 7. We have 3 16-year-old swimmers, Emily Lyons in 6, Erin Jones in 4, and Yan Ting Emily Pack in 1. And our other swimmers are in the 17s and 18s. That's Maurice McNee, Katie Coventry, and Rose Harrison. Erin Jones, our leader, is in the 16 years age group. And 2 lanes from the top, Katie Coventry is in the 17s and 18s, going very well here as well. Third at the moment, it looks like Emily Lyons in lane 6, just ahead of Olivia Taylor. Remember, Olivia Taylor turning now there in 4th place is a 15 years swimmer. Trying to get in the 15 years final with her swim here. Erin Jones then leading with Katie Coventry in 2nd. We're looking for swimmers to get under 2:45 to be really swimming brilliantly in this heat. 2:45 would be a brilliant performance for anyone in this heat. And it is going to be lane 4, Erin Jones. She does that comfortably. 2:41.15. Katie Coventry, 2:41.44. Olivia Taylor, 2:46.69. And then Emily Lyons, 2:47.36. Good swims for all of those swimmers. Well done. And we'll update you on who qualifies for respective finals as we go. We still have several swimmers to come in all of the age groups, so it's just too early here to be absolutely certain of all the finalists right now. We go on now to heat number 5. We have one 13-14 swimmer in this heat. 3 15-year-olds as well. So our swimmers in heat 5. Ellis Davis for Millfield, Marina Kennedy for Camden Swiss Cottage, Alexia Augustin for Worcester, Poppy Williams for Swindon Dolphin, Ella Fear for City of Bristol, Alexandra Dorr for Oakhampton Otters, Charlize Harding for Norwich Swan, Kenza Ajimi for City of Coventry, Annalise Elford for Whitney and District, and Erin Neumann for Mount Kelly. And in lane 6, our leader comfortably here is Poppy Williams from Swindon Dolphin. Turning first there in 34.77 seconds. So Poppy Williams is a 17s and 18s swimmer. Erin Neumann, bottom of our picture, is in the 13s and 14s in lane 0. She's the only 13s, 14s swimmer in this heat. We have the 15-year-olds in 7 and 8s, Alexia Augustin and Marina Kennedy, and in 5, Ella Fear. In the 16 years age groups in 4 and 3, that's Alexandra Dorr and Charlize Harding and Annalise Elford in lane 1. And 3 swimmers in the 17s and 18s. Ellis Davis in 9, Poppy Williams, our leader, in 6, and Kenza Ajimi in 2. So in this heat, well, if we can get swimmers under 2:45, that would be absolutely brilliant swimming. 2:45 and under is really excellent performance for any of these 10 swimmers. And Poppy Williams is well on course to do that. 156.97 at the turn. Annalise Elford, well, didn't lose any ground over that last 50 metres. Alexandra Dorr's moving quickly in lane 4. She turned 4th there. She's in the yellow cap for Oakhampton Otters in the middle of the pool. She's 3rd at the moment, but it looks like she might be pushing up into 2nd place. Alexandra's in the 16 years age group. Poppy Williams then is going to win this heat. She's got a PB of 2:43.31, Poppy Williams, and this is a new PB, 2:41.33. Well swum there. Poppy, remember, in the 17s and 18s age groups. Alexandra Dorr, 2:43.57. Too many swimmers still to come in the 16 years to be sure of qualification for finals here. Marina Kennedy, 2:44.85. That gets in the 15 years final. Erin Neumann with 2:46.84. We'll have to wait and see if that gets in the 13-14 final. Alexia Augustin, 2:46.88. That's not guaranteed to be in the final for 15-year-olds at the moment, but it could well qualify. It depends on the swimmers still to come. On to heat 6. And our swimmers in Heat 6 are Elizabeth Adam for Leyland Barracudas, Hannah Sterry for Tigers of Jersey, Amelie Spicer for City of Bristol, Jasmine Andrews for Rushmore Royals, Isabella Cleary for Leamington Spa, Ella Bissix for Swansea University, Jemima De Silva for Camden Swiss Cottage, Amelie Bruntnett for Nuneaton and Bedworth, Philippa Hickman for Nova Centurion, and Gwenlyan Evans for City of Cardiff. Isabella Cleary is a 13-14 swimmer, and she is going to turn first there in 34.86 seconds, ahead of Amelie Spicer and Hannah Sterry. In this heat, we've got 13-14 swimmers. In lanes 5, Isabella Cleary, who is leading at the turn, and in 3 and 2, Jemima De Silva and Amelie Bruntnett. They are all potential finalists in the 13-14s. Elizabeth Adam on the far side, top of our picture. She's a potential finalist in the 15-year age group. We have 16-year-olds in lane 8, Hannah Sterry and 0, Gwenlyan Evans. And we have 17-18 swimmers in lane 7 and 6, Amelie Spicer and Jasmine Andrews. Lane 4, Ella Bissix, and lane 1, Philippa Hickman. Isabella Cleary then, our leader in the middle of the pool, and in second at the moment in the blue cap for City of Bristol, that is Amelie Spicer. We want to get as many of these swimmers as possible under 2:43 for a really good swim for any of these 10 swimmers. And Amelie Spicer looks like she is going to turn first, or maybe even Jasmine Andrews. They've both had a really strong 50 there. It's Spicer, then Andrews, and Gwenlyan Evans also going very well down in lane 0, turning third there. But Jasmine Andrews in 6, in the yellow cap for Rushmore Royal. She is swimming the quickest of anyone right now, coming through very strongly. So Jasmine Andrews looking good. Also going well, Amelie Spicer. They're both 17 and 18 swimmers. Third at the moment is Hannah Sterry. She's in the 16 years age group. And fourth, Isabella Cleary, remember, in the 13s and 14s. So as we get to the wall, it's Amelie Spicer with 2:40.64, a new PB for Amelie. Jasmine Andrews, 2:40.65, also with a PB. And Hannah Sterry, 2:42.41 with a new personal best. Gwenlyan Evans, 2:42.68 in the 16 years age group there. For 15 years swimmers, Elizabeth Adam there, 2:47.74. We'll have to wait and see if that gets in the final for 15-year-olds. For 13s and 14s, Isabella Cleary swimming our fastest 13-14 time so far. Amelie Bruntnett, 2:46.31. Has to wait and see if that gets in the final. We also had Jemima De Silva with 2:48.21. That could be a qualification for the 13-14 final. It depends on the remaining heats, because we've still got several swimmers in those age groups to come. These are the swimmers in Heat 7. Isabella Cleary and Amelie Bruntnett from the last heat definitely qualifying for the 13-14 final. In Heat 7, we have Millie Cammack for Northumberland and Durham Performance, Millie Searle for Garriock, Lily Davis for City of Peterborough, Isabel Munnock for Northumberland and Durham Performance, Hazel Ann Carter for Wickham District, Alicia D'Souza for Hillingdon, Charlotte Thompson for Midlothian, Evie O'Halloran Hutchinson for Northumberland and Durham Performance, Ava Andrekova for Camden Swiss Cottage, and Jessica Hill for Tiverton. Swimmers in this heat, we have in the 13-14 age group Millie Searle, 2 lanes from the top of the picture. And Millie's a potential finalist in the 13-14 age group. At the bottom of our picture, we've got one 15-year-old, that's Jessica Hill, who's a potential finalist in the 15 years age group as well. We have in the 16 years age group, Millie Kamek on the far side of the pool, Ava Andrekova in lane 1. And we have 6 swimmers in the middle of the pool in the 17s and 18s. Lily Davis in 7, Isabel Munnock in 6, Hazel Ann Carter in 5, Alicia D'Souza in 4, Charlotte Thompson in 3, and Evie O'Halloran Hutchinson in lane 2. Very little to choose between our leading 6 swimmers there. Separated by 0.62 of a second. Our first 6 swimmers at the halfway turn. So remember, Millie Searle, 2 lanes from the top of the picture. She's a 13-14 swimmer. And Jessica Hill at the bottom of the picture in the 15 years. And in 9 and 1, they are 16 years swimmers. Andrekova and Kamek. Coming into the final turn, and it's Andrekova who's going very well in lane 1 over that last 50, putting herself up into the leads. Turning in 1:58.66. Millie Kamek turned 4th there at the top of the picture, and she is going pretty quickly as well in the second half of this 200-metre race. So it is Ava Andrekova in 1, Hazel Ann Carter in 5. They're our leading 2 swimmers. And as we get into the last 10 metres now, also coming through, you can see at the top of the picture, Millie Kamek with a strong finish. First to touch them in lane 1, Ava Andrekova, 2:40.50. And that is a 16 years time, 2:40.50, our fastest time so far by anyone in these heats. Second there, Hazel Ann Carter, 2:40.65, swimming in the 17 years final. But let's look further down there. Millie Kamek in the 16 years there, 2:41.59. Jessica Hill, we'll have to wait and see if she qualifies for her final. Here is heat 8. Our swimmers from Heat 8 are Chloe Grosvenor for City of Birmingham, Neve Savoury for Newcastle Swim Team, Olivia Quiller for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson, Isabella Parsons-Loads for Repton, Scarlett Davey for Sevenoaks, Evie Mackey for South Lanarkshire, May Rogers for Warrender Baths, Neve Dunbar for City of Leicester, Macy Bruff for Newcastle of Staffordshire, and Esme Hall for Northumberland and Durham Performance. From that last heat, I can tell you that Millie Searle qualified for the 13-14 final, Jessica Hill for the 15s final, and Hazel Ann Carter for the 17s and 18s. Other swimmers from earlier on are having to wait and see, but when we have the final times, we'll try to tell you, if we have time between the swims, who has qualified for their respective finals. Now, in Heat 8, we have swimmers in the 15-year age group in the outside lanes, Chloe Grosvenor and Esme Hall. In the 16-year age group in the middle of the pool, Evie Mackey in lane 4. And we have 14-year swimmers in 7 and 6 and 1. They are Olivia Quiller, Isabella Parsons-Loads and Macy Bruff. Everybody else is in the 17s and 18s. That's Neve Savoury in 8, Scarlett Davey in 5, Mai Rogers in 3, and Neve Dunbar in lane 2. I think we could get 5 swimmers guaranteeing places in finals in this heat, so we're going to watch the times very carefully. Our leader is in lane 9, Chloe Grosvenor, in the 15-year age group. So our leader, Chloe Grosvenor, 157.31. And Chloe in the 15 years age group, if she goes under 246.88, she'll be in the final for sure. And even if she swims a little bit slower than that, she could still get in the final. But 246.88 will guarantee a place in the final. Olivia Quiller, 13-14 swimmer, going very well as well. So I think we're going to get 2 comfortable qualifiers for their respective finals in first and second. So let's have a look at the times then. 2:40 is the PB for Chloe Grosvenor, but that's under that. 2:39.06 a PB. Olivia Quiller, 2:39.56. That's the fastest time set by a 13-14 swimmer so far, so she qualifies. Evie Mackey, 2:40.45 in the 16 years category. That will see her into the final. Other swimmers have to wait and see there. We've got 13-14 Isabella Parsons-Loads, 2:43.06. That will qualify. Esme Hall, 2:42.39. That qualifies for the 15 years final. On to heat 9. In heat 9, we have Charlotte Burfitt for Maidenhead, Georgina Hamilton for City of St Albans, Joni Dunn for City of Liverpool, Holly Wayman for Maxwell, Lily Jackson Oates for Nova Centurion, Kira Fletcher for Nova Centurion, Isabel Owen, City of Birmingham, Ellen Eccleston, City of Norwich, Emilia Oliver for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson, and Gabriella Hunt for City of Liverpool. So those are our 10 swimmers in this heat, and the 2 swimmers closest to us going very well there in lanes 1 and 0. Turning first and second, Emilia Oliver and Gabriella Hunt. So those 2 going very well, turning in under 36 seconds for that first 50. And in the middle of the pool then, we have Lily Jackson Oates in 5, and in 7, Joni Dunn. All of those swimmers off to a strong start in this 200 metres breaststroke. Coming up to the halfway turn then. And it's our leader is still Emilia Oliver, with Gabriella Hunt second. Third of the turn there was Joni Dunn. Into the second half then of this 200 metres breaststroke. We'll be looking at potential places in finals as we get through this second 100 metres. So Emilia Oliver in the 17s and 18s age group leading still. And coming through, Joni Dunn in the 16 years age group is up to second in lane 7 at that turn. I can confirm from the last heat there were 5 qualifiers for their respective finals. Olivia Quiller, Isabella Parsons-Loads, Chloe Grosvenor, Esme Hall and Neve Savoury. They all qualified. And here, how many can we get into finals in this heat? As we come to the wall, it's Emilia Oliver in the 17s and 18s in 2:37.82. She qualifies for her final. Charlotte Buffett 15-year-old swimmer, 2:39.22. Gets into the 15 years final with that. Lily Jackson Oates, 2:39.25. We have to wait and see. We've got plenty of swimmers in the 19s and overs still to come. Joni Dunn, 2:40.05. That could be a qualification for the 16 years final. We've still got a few 16 years swimmers to come. Georgina Hamilton, 2:41.26. That might qualify for her final as well, but we have to wait and see. 3 heats to come. Here's heat 10. Our swimmers in Heat 10 are Lois Inch for Winsford, Emily McGee for Dundee City Aquatics, Nuala Gow for University of Aberdeen Performance, Sophie Moore for City of Cambridge, Imogen Miles for Sevenoaks, Sienna Robinson for Loughborough University, Maisie Brown for Rushmore Royals, Cora Lanham for University of Bath, Caitlin Hartley for Hatfield, and Asia Kent for Mount Kelly. We've had all of the 13, 14 swimmers and all of the 15 years swimmers who are going to compete, so the finalists are confirmed, I would say. You do have to check the Aquatics GB website for absolute confirmation, but I think the 13-14 finalists will be Olivia Quiller, Isabella Parsons-Loads, Isabella Cleary, Georgia Atkinson, Evie Kick, Isla Tied, Millie Searle, Amelie Bruntlett, Chloe Mahoney and Erin Neumann. In the 15 years, the finalists will be Chloe Grosvenor, Charlotte Burfitt, Esme Hall, Joanne Andrews, Marina Kennedy, Eve Hibbert, Jessica Hill, Amit Maltz, Charlotte Higgins and Olivia Taylor. And there are still places in the other finals to fight for. In lane 4 then here, our leader is Sienna Robinson in 1:11.43. Sienna's in the 19s and overs, and we've got 5 other 19s and overs in this heat. Emily McGee in 8, Nuala Gow in 7, Sophie Moore in 6, Sienna herself in 3, Cora Lanham in 2, and Caitlin Hartley in lane 1. Imogen Miles in lane 5 is a 16-year swimmer, and we've got 3 17s, 18s in this one. Lois Inch in lane 9, Maisie Brown in lane 3, and Asia Kent in lane 0. Sienna Robinson then will turn first, and then Imogen Miles. And Imogen is well on course for a place in the 16 years final with this swim. Third at the turn there was Caitlin Hartley, then Cora Lanham. Nuala Gow was 5th, Maisie Brown 6th at that turn, Sophie Moore was 7th. So Sienna Robinson out in front. Sienna Robinson. Well, the fastest time we've seen so far was 2:37.82, so she comfortably sets the fastest time we've seen so far, 2:31.49. And that should get in the final for Sienna Robinson for the 19s and over. Imogen Miles, 2:32.98, qualifies for the 16 years final with her time. Nuala Gow, 2:35.91. We'll just have to wait and see, but that could be a place in the 19s and overs there. Maisie Brown finished 7th. She's a 17 and 18 swimmer, and she qualifies for her final. Asia Kent, 2:39.5, also qualifies. Lois Inch, 2:45.26. That won't get in the 17s and 18s final, unfortunately. But Asia Kent does qualify there in 9th place for the 17s and 18s final. 2 heats to come. This is heat 11. Should say Nuala Gow does qualify for the 19s and overs with her time in that last heat. We had 5 qualifiers for sure. Imogen Miles into the 16 years final. Maisie Brown and Asia Kent into the 17s and 18s. Sienna Robinson and Nuala Gow definitely in the 19s and overs. In this heat, we've got Emma Allett File for Guildford City, Gabrielle Idle Beavers for Mount Kelly, Holly Robinson for Mount Kelly, Annabelle Cook for City of Sheffield, Sophie Brassington for Swansea University, Amelie Smith, our leader in lane 4 for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson, Anna Finley for Northumberland and Durham Performance, Amy Crowley for City of Cardiff, Sophie King for Swindon Dolphin, and Anastasia Musa for Mount Kelly. So Amelie Smith turning first there. She's a 16 years swimmer in lane 4. And Amelie is our fastest 16-year-old this year in 200 metres breaststroke. There are 3 other 16-year-old swimmers in here. Annabelle Cook in 6, Sophie King in 1, and Anastasia Musa in lane 0. In the 17s and 18s age group, we've got 2 swimmers in this one. Gabrielle Idle-Beavers in 8 and Anna Finley in 3. And the 19s and overs are Emma Allett-File, Holly Robinson, Sophie Brassington and Amy Crowley. Sophie Brassington looking very strong now, going past Amelie Smith. There's 1 heat to come after this, remember. And Sophie Brassington really turning on the taps since the 100-metre turn. Lanes 9 and 8 are Emma Allett-File and Gabrielle Idle-Beavers. And also going well in lane 2, Amy Crowley. Brassington 141.75 at the turn there. So I think Sophie Brassington will comfortably qualify for the 19 years and over final. Amelie Smith, a 16-year-old, on course to comfortably qualify for her final as well. And everybody else fighting to set times to possibly qualify. They are having to push themselves as hard as they can right now. Our next group of 4 swimmers, Emma Allett-File, Gabrielle Idle-Beavers, Anna Finley and Amy Crowley. First to the wall is going to be Sophie Brassington, 2:31.21, our fastest time so far. So Sophie will be in the 19s and overs final. Amelie Smith, 2:34.56 into the 16 years final with that. Anna Finley, 2:37.80. That gets into the 17s and 18s final. Gabrielle Idle-Beavers, 2:38.60, also qualifying for the 17s and 18s final. Amy Crowley, 2:38.62. We'll have to wait and see there. Sophie King and Annabelle Cook, both going 2:42.33 and under. We have to wait and see. They might qualify. Anastasia Musa at 2:47.16. I think we've already had 10 16-year-olds quicker than that. So that won't be a place in the final. Final heat is heat 12. Our swimmers in heat 12 then are Gabriella Giblin for Stockport Metro. She's in lane 9 on the far side of the pool. Then we have in lane 8, Bonnie Mooney for City of Birmingham, Kirsty Neal for Millfield, Hannah Bowley for Edinburgh University, Theodora Taylor for Torfin Dolphins Performance, Elizabeth Booker for Loughborough University, Charlotte Bianchi for City of Sheffield, Charlotte Cope for Guildford City, and Murray Gibson for City of Cardiff. Lane 0 is vacant. Theodora Taylor then leading in 33.64 at the 50-metre turn. I wonder if we could get all 8 of these swimmers to qualify for the finals here. That is entirely possible for 3 separate finals, possibly. Gabriella Giblin and Bonnie Mooney on the far side are 16-year-olds. So is Theodora Taylor, our leader. We have 17 and 18 swimmers. Kirsty Neal in 7, Charlotte Cope in 2 and Murray Gibson in 1. And we have a 19s and overs in 6, Hannah Bowley, 4, Elizabeth Booker and 3, Charlotte Bianchi. Elizabeth Booker coming back strongly now after that 100-metre turn. From the last heat, we had 5 guaranteed qualifiers for finals. Amelie Smith and Sophie King in the 16 years. In the 17s and 18s, Anna Finley and Gabrielle Idle-Beavers. And in the 19s and overs, Sophie Brassington. They all qualified with their performances in the last heat. Turning first then, Elizabeth Booker, 150.51. Theodora Taylor second at that turning, 151.39. Now 16-year-old swimmers in this heat, remember. Bonnie Mooney turning 7th there and Gabriella Giblin in 8th, but they may well qualify for their 16 years final. Theodora Taylor in 2nd, also a 16-year swimmer. So we come to the last 15 metres, and it's Elizabeth Booker and Theodora Taylor who are going to finish 1st and 2nd here. And they will both qualify for their respective finals with those times. 2:30.05 for Elizabeth Booker into the 19s and overs final as the fastest qualifier. Theodora Taylor with the fastest time for a 16-year-old. She qualifies for lane 4 for tonight's final with that. Our other 16-year-olds there were 7th and 8th, both swimming times of 2:40, and they both qualify. Bonnie Mooney and Gabriella Giblin both qualifying for their finals there. For the 17s and 18s, well, we had Charlotte Cope, 2:35.26, that's in the final. Mari Gibson qualifies as well. Kirsty Neal, 2:42.32, that doesn't qualify, unfortunately. But I think we had our first 8 swimmers there qualifying for the final. If I've got my maths right, you'll have to go to the Aquatics GB website to get absolute confirmation of qualifiers. I do my best to do the maths as we go along and figure it out for you. And I'm sure you'll appreciate it's a juggling act. I know the qualifiers then from the 16-year-olds there were Theodora Taylor, Bonnie Mooney and Gabriella Giblin. For the 17s and 18s, Charlotte Cope, Mari Gibson, and the 19s and overs, Elizabeth Booker, Charlotte Bianchi and Hannah Bowley. We have men's 200 metres backstroke now, 12 heats. This is heat 1. So 3 swimmers in heat 1, and they are Tate Shillingford for the Royal School Wolverhampton, George Harrison for Kingston upon Hull, and Boaz Hernandez-Taylor for Hackney Anaconda. And all 3 of these boys are in the 13s and 14s age group. We've got 19 swimmers in the 13s and 14s age group. So half of the swimmers, the fastest 10 of course, will qualify for the final. Let's see what kind of times we can post in this heat for these swimmers. As we're going through this heat, I'll read the qualifiers from the previous event, women's 200 metres breast for finals. We've already given you the 13-14 finalists and the 15s finalists. For the 16 years, Theodora Taylor, Imogen Miles, Amelie Smith, Joni Dunn, Evie Mackey, Eva Andrekova, Bonnie Mooney, Gabriella Giblin, Sophie King and Erin Jones. For the 17s, 18s, Charlotte Cope, Mari Gibson, Maisie Brown, Anna Finley, Amelia Oliver, Gabrielle Idle-Beavers, Asia Kent, Amelie Spicer, Jasmine Andrews and Hazel Ann Carter. Turning first here at the halfway point, just George Harrison, 2/100ths of a second ahead of Tate Shillingford. And also I'll give you the 10 qualifiers for the 19s and overs final. Elizabeth Booker, Sophie Brassington, Sienna Robinson, Charlotte Bianchi, Nuala Gow, Emily McGee, Hannah Bowley, Cora Lanham, Caitlin Hartley and Sophie Moore. You'll get absolute confirmation from the Aquatics GB website. My lists are not official, but I believe they are our finalists. Right, 2 swimmers here going side by side, Tate Shillingford and George Harrison. Turning together again with 50 metres to go. 2:21 would be the PB for all 3 of these swimmers. We're going to be around that pace for our 2 leaders, I would say. Tate Shillingford and George Harrison, both in with a chance of PBs. We want to get 2:21 and under for personal bests here. So well swum, Tate Shillingford and George Harrison. They touched the wall together. Only 500ths between them. And they both set PBs, 2:20.33 for George, 2:20.38 for Tate. And Boaz Hernandez-Taylor with 2:25.60. Good swim as well for Boaz, even though it wasn't a PB. And all 3 of those swimmers in the 13-14 age group. So well done to all of our swimmers, all three of our swimmers there. Our first three in the 13-14s. George Harrison and Tate Shillingford both breaking new grounds and setting new personal bests for themselves. Under 2:21 for the first time for both of those swimmers. Well done there. We go on now to heat number 2. Nine swimmers in this heat and a brilliant start from Jacob Bacon in lane 6. Very impressive. Our swimmers are Jacob Cincio for Chelmsford City, Oliver Sigley for Mount Kelly, then Jacob Bacon, City of Peterborough, Lorenzo Ciolan for Corby, Nicholas Rogers for Brompton, Harry Osborne for City of Sheffield, Xavier Zerban for Biggleswade, Julian Acroy for Biggleswade, for Delting Dolphins, and Ethan Blythe for Bolton Metro. Nicholas Rogers turning first ahead of Jacob Bacon, despite Jacob's brilliant starts. So Nicholas Rogers swimming quickly over that 50, and now our leader, I would say, is Julian Acroy. 2 lanes from the bottom of our screens. We have 7 swimmers in the 13-14 age group here and 2 in the 15 years. Lorenzo Cholan for Corby is a 15-year swimmer, and so too Jacob Bacon. They are in 5 and 6. Julian Acroy turning first there in a time of 66.06. We've got 9 swimmers to come after this in the 13-14 year age group. So the fastest 13-14 year swimmer after this heat will be guaranteed a place in their final. So bear that in mind. Our fastest 13-14 swimmer after the first 2 heats will get in the final. You've got to go under 220.33 to do that. Jacob Bacon, a 15-year swimmer, leading at the turn, and Julian Acroy, second at the turn, is a 13-14 swimmer. So there's a potential final place here for Julian Acroy the way he's going. And you have to say that Jacob Bacon is looking good in lane 6 as well. We're looking for times under 2:19. That's a good performance for anyone in this heat, and we're going to get under that for several of these swimmers. These are very good swims. Jacob Bacon, PB 2:15.33. Julian Acroy into the 13-14 final with 2:16.04 for sure. Harry Osborne will have to wait and see. He could qualify with that time, 2:16.99. Lorenzo Cholan, 2:17.94 in 4th place there, 2:17.94. That's a PB. Xavier Zerban, PB, 2:17.96. Nicholas Rogers, 2:18.63. Our first 5 swimmers there all swam PBs in that heat, and Julian Acroy sealed his place in the 13-14 final. On to heat number 3. And you'll see in this heat we've got 3 13-14 swimmers to come. Finley Byrne, Joseph Bale and Isaac Mendham. And the rest of our swimmers are in the 15 years age group. Our swimmers here then, Daniel Barton for Wigan Best, Isaac Mendham for Dunmow Atlantis, Ben Saxby for Ramsbottom, Joseph Bale for Mount Kelly, Dylan Hill for Kingston upon Hull, Finley Byrne for Southport, Harry Robinson for Reeds, Cole Hood for Wigan Best, Austin McPherson for Garrioch, and Harry Lucas for City of Leicester. 2 lanes from the top. Isaac Mendham looks like he's off to a very strong start, as well as Harry Robinson in lane 3 and in lane 6, Joseph Bale. They are our first 3 at the 50-metre turn. Joseph Bale's a 13-14 swimmer, as is Isaac Mendham in 2nd and 3rd there. And our leader, Harry Robinson, a 15-year swimmer. We'll have an idea of whether our 3 13-14 swimmers qualify for their final at the end of this heat. So those swimmers competing for those positions: Isaac Mendham, Joseph Bale and Finley Byrne in 8, 6 and 4. Turning first at halfway then, it is Harry Robinson just ahead of Joseph Bale and then Harry Lucas. Joseph Bale in 2nd place at the moment, a 13-14 swimmer. After this heat, we've got 6 13-14 swimmers scheduled to compete. Harry Robinson looking very good here, turning first. 1:39.09 at that turn. He is going to smash his PB here, Harry. He's got a PB of 2:18 and he still looks very strong. 2:18 the PB for Harry Osborne, our leader. And Harry Lucas going well here in lane 0. Harry Robinson then leading us through. Harry Robinson's PB was 2:14. And he does set a new PB, 2:13.57. Harry Lucas in 2nd there with 2:15.02, a PB as well. 3rd, Dylan Hill in 2:16.22. That's a personal best. Finley Burns, our fastest 13-14-year-old there with 2:16.42. He qualifies for the final. Joseph Bale, 2:16.69, also qualifying for the 13-14 final there. Isaac Mendham might qualify, we have to wait and see. And, we saw several PBs there. Some good swims once again from the boys in these men's 200 metres backstroke heats. Good performances there from our lead swimmers. Here comes heat 4. A mixture of age groups again. In heat 4, we have Jack Smith of City of Birmingham and Jack Smith for City of Leicester, side by side in lanes 9 and 8. In 7, Thomas Rickles for City of Liverpool. In 6, Mason Amiri for Witney and District. Lane 5, Archie Maguire for Northumberland and Durham Performance. Lane 4, Stan Sawyer for York City Baths. Lane 3, Noah Cartledge for Biddulph. Lane 2, Zeb Stevenson for Portsmouth North Sea. Lane 1 is Iolo Thomas for Neath Swimming Club and Blake Herdman in 0 for Inverclyde. Stan Sawyer turning first there in 29.51. Stan is in the 15 years age group. There are 7 swimmers in the 15 years age group in this heat. The 2 Jack Smiths on the far side of the pool. Then it's Stan Sawyer in 4, Noah Cartledge in 3, Zeb Stevenson in 2, Iolo Thomas in 1, and Blake Herdman in 0. And we have 3 swimmers in the 14 years category in 7, 6 and 5. Thomas Rickles, Mason Amiri and Archie Maguire. So Stan Sawyer, our leader, could qualify for the 15 years final here. In 2nd place at that turn was Iolo Thomas, also in the 15 years age group. 3rd at the turn then, in lane 5 rather, Archie Maguire is leading our 13s and 14s in this heat. There's a potential for 9 swimmers well, maybe even 10 swimmers in this heat to qualify for their finals, which tells you that everybody in this heat really wants to perform to their absolute best. We've got swimmers on the borderlines for their finals here. Our winner in the heat is going to be Stan Sawyer. Now, Stan's PB is 2:14.63. He's going to beat that. Second is going to be Yolo Thomas with a new PB, 2:13.14. Mason Amiri in third there beats his PB, 2:13.90. Archie Maguire coming in fourth. He's our fastest, well, Mason Amiri is our fastest 14-year-old there, qualifying for his final in 2:13.90. And Thomas Rickles, 2:15.89. All of the 13-14 swimmers qualify for their final there. And our 15-year-olds who qualify, certainly Stan Sawyer, Yolo Thomas. Our two Jack Smiths, 5/100ths of a second apart. We'll have to wait and see if 2:16.6 qualifies for the final. It could, potentially. On we go to heat number 5. In Heat 5, it's Oscar Earthroll for Lancing College, Benjamin Pedergill for Camden Swiss Cottage, Charles Phipps for Millfield, Aaron Drake for Warren de Baths, Martin Molnar for City of Cambridge, Alfie Owen for Wigan Best, Jack Hurry for Northampton, Henry Foster for Redditch, Alexander Tew for York City Baths, and Jack Militis for Tigers of Jersey. I think I told you after the last heat that we had 5 qualifiers for sure for finals. Let me just confirm from the last heat, Mason Amiri, Archie Maguire and Thomas Rickles, they all qualified for the 13-14 final. And in the 15, Stan Sawyer and Yolo Thomas both qualified as well. Other swimmers will have to wait and see. Our leader here in lane 5 is Martin Molnar for City of Cambridge. Martin is in the 16 years age group. We've got 3 13s and 14s in this heat. In the 2 outside lanes, Oscar Earthroll on the far side in lane 9. On the near side, Jack Militis. And 3 lanes from the tops, Charles Phipps. And 2 lanes from the top, Benjamin Pedergill is in the 15 years age group. So our leaders are 16-year-olds, as is Alfie Owen in second place. And in third, on the far side, Oscar Earthroll is in the 13s and 14s. Right, here we go then. Martin Molnar turning first in 1:36.54. Martin has a PB of 2:13.07, and I think we're going to get close to that here. And fighting back very well, Alfie Owen now in lane 4. This is a very strong finish for Alfie. So our 2 leaders are both in the 16 years age group. After this heat, we've still got 16-year-olds to swim. So they're going to post the fastest 16 times so far here. Martin Molnar, 2:10.33. That's a PB. Alfie Owen with a PB, 2:10.74. Benjamin Pedergill, 2:12.75. That is a PB. And it gets Benjamin into the 15 years final. In 4th place, Jack Hurry, 2:13.56. He's a 16-year-old. We're keeping our eyes open here for the 13s and 14s for qualifying for their final. Charles Phipps qualifies with 2:13.77. Oscar Earthroll, 2:14.8. Also qualifies there. Jack Militis, 2:21.16. That won't get in the final for 13s and 14s, unfortunately. So several qualifiers there for finals and several PBs. Martin Molnar and Alfie Owen both swimming 2:10 for the first time. On we go to heat number 6. So we have 9 swimmers competing in this heat. Cameron Haddow for University of Aberdeen Performance is in lane 9. In lane 8, Benjamin McDougall for Wickham District. Then it's Jacob Pemberton for Derby Excel. Lane 6 is empty. Tyler Spalding for Carnegie in lane 5. William Davis for Newquay Cormorants. Finn Adams for Teddington. Elliot Lawton for City of Coventry. Ryan Close for Bedford. And Finley Dare for Corby. Ryan Close turning first there. He's a 17 and 18 swimmer in lane 1. We have 2 15-year-olds in this heat. Benjamin McDougall in lane 8 and William Davis in lane 4. We have 16-year-olds in 9. Cameron Haddow, 7. Jacob Pemberton, 5. Tyler Spalding, 3. Finn Adams and 0. Finley Dare. And we have the 2 17-18 swimmers in 1 and 2. Ryan Close and Elliot Lawton. First to turn in lane 9, Cameron Haddow. Off that turn, Ryan Close looking very strong now in lane 1, 2 lanes from the bottom of the picture. Jacob Pemberton going well in lane 7, 3 lanes from the top of the picture as well, next to the empty lane. We've got a complete list now of 13, 14 finalists, by the way. Charles Phipps, Mason Amiri, Oscar Earthroll, Archie Maguire, Thomas Rickles, Julian O'Croy, Finley Byrne, Joseph Bale, Harry Osborne and Xavier Zerban. Ryan Close leading then in lane 1 here. And Ryan's got a PB of 2:12.13. He looks like he's on course to swim quicker than that. And in 7, Jacob Pemberton, I think, also could go quicker than 2:12, his previous best. Elliot Lawton's finishing well in lane 1 as well. It's Ryan Close to get to the wall first then. New PB, 2:10.40. PBs as well for Jacob Pemberton, 2:11.66. And Elliot Lawton, 2:11.85. Jacob Pemberton will probably qualify for the 16 years final with his time there of 2:11.66. We'll have to wait and see because there are still several swimmers to come. William Davis, our 15-year-old there, 2:13.36, qualifies for his final. Benjamin McDougall, 2:13.51, also qualifying for the 15 years final with those swims. Well swum in there. We go on to heat number 7. You can see here we've got a 15-year-old and 3 16-year-olds swimming. Our swimmers in heat 7, Dominic Bartoletti for Repton, Tane Phillips for Plymouth Leander, Harry Langford for the Royal Score Wolverhampton, William East for Basildon and Phoenix, Benedict McCarthy for City of Cardiff, Dexter West for Pembrokeshire County, James Page for Millfield, Henry Norman for Bromley, Daniel Papworth for Tigers of Jersey and Valerio Thompson for Millfields. Lanes 1 and 2 leading the way here, Daniel Papworth and Henry Norman, 2 17-18 swimmers in those lanes. We have those 3 16-year-old swimmers in 4, 5 and 7, Dexter West, Benedict McCarthy and Harry Langford. And on the far side of the pool, Dominic Bartoletti. And Dominic is our fastest 15-year-old swimmer at this event in the qualifying period this year. Lane 1 then, Daniel Patworth turning first, 62.7, ahead of James Page and then Henry Norman. Our leading 16-year-old at the moment, Dexter West, in fourth, ahead of Benedict McCarthy. Our fastest 16-year-old swimmer will qualify for shore after this heat. So there's a potential for Dexter West at the moment. So Dexter West is our leading 16-year-old. Looks like he might qualify for the 16 years final with this. He'll need to go around 2:10 to be absolutely sure at this stage. So in lane 6, it's William East. In lane 3, James Page. And in 4, Dexter West, our 3 leading swimmers. And in lane 6, it's William East in 2:10.91, a new PB for him. James Page, 2:11.32, that's a PB. Dexter West is third there in 2:11.96. So Dexter West, the 16-year-old, 2:11.96. Well, I think that will be a place in the final. It's not absolutely sure, but we think so. Lane, or 7th place there, Dominic Bartoletti, 2:13.42, qualifies for the 15 years final with that swim. And everybody else has to wait and see. Dominic Bartoletti through to his final with a time of 2:13.42. On we go to heat 8. Our swimmers in Heat 8 are Wilfred Lee for Millfield, Louis Thorne for City of Bristol, Jack Burston for Ellesmere College Swimming Academy, Oscar Winterburn for Team Ipswich, Finlay Richardson for Guildford City, Edward Redshaw for Middlesbrough, Edward Ormsby for City of Cambridge, Joe Jennings for Leander, Lachlan Taylor for City of Bristol, and Charlie Foster for the Royal Score Wolverhampton. We've had all the 15-year swimmers now, so the finalists for 15-year-olds will be Stan Sawyer, Benjamin Pedergill, Iolo Thomas, William Davis, Dominic Bartoletti, Benjamin McDougall, Harry Robinson, Harry Lucas, Jacob Bacon and Dylan Hill. Okay, the age groups then for swimmers in this heat. We've got 2 16-year-old swimmers in here. Wilfred Lee on the far side in lane 9. And in lane 5, Finlay Richardson. And they could both potentially swim their way into the 16 years final here. Everybody else in the 17s and 18s age group. First at the turn there, halfway, Edward Redshaw in 62.75, just ahead of Edward Ormsby. Not much to choose between any of these swimmers really. And really, there's a pack of 8 swimmers who look like they are ahead. Maybe even we'd say 9 swimmers who are ahead. But remember, Wilfred Lee at the top of the picture is a 16-year-old. The leading 16-year-old at that turn was Finlay Richardson in lane 5 in 5th place. So Finlay Richardson in lane 5 looks like he's heading for the 16 years final with this performance. And Wilfred Lee might well qualify as well on the far side. Into the final 5 metres then, and it's Finlay Richardson in lane 5 who's going to touch first. 2:09.71. He's our fastest 16-year-old so far. He qualifies for the final. And Wilfred Lee, 2:13.96. We'll have to wait and see if that gets into the 16 years final. It could, potentially. And everybody else has to wait and see. Finlay Richardson's 2:09.71 is our fastest time by any swimmer so far. And Edward Ormsby's 2:10.29, our second quickest time by any swimmer so far. So that is the fastest time in the 17s and 18s age group up to this point. So well swum, everybody, in that heat. Some good performances in there. Finlay Richardson definitely qualifying for the 16 years final with that swim. We've still got 6 16-year-olds to swim. And we've got one of them here, Monty Smith in lane 5. This is heat number 9. Our swimmers in heat 9 then: Harvey Reid for City of Birmingham, Carlos Sierra Villegas for Chesterfield, Jack Arnold for Millfield, Martin Yankoff for Repton, Monty Smith for Wickham District, Ben Uff for Crawley, Adam White for Millfield, Oliver Steele for City of Leeds, Sam Adams for Hackney Anaconda, and Harry Sharp for Warrender Baths. Harvey Reid off to a good start on the far side of the pool in lane 9 for City of Birmingham. And in lane 1, Sam Adams. Those two turning first and second. 28.98 for Harvey Reid at that turn. So one 16-year-old swimmer in lane 6, lane 5 rather, Monty Smith. And everybody else here is in the 17s and 18s age group. It would take an exceptional swim for a 17 or 18-year-old to get into their final at this stage. I think we've still got 16, 17 and 18-year-olds to come, I believe, over the remaining heats. It depends if everybody competes. So Monty Smith in lane 5, we've got to keep an eye on. He's 8th here, 63.54, but trying to get into the final for the 16 years swimmers. The fastest time for a 16-year-old so far, set by Finlay Richardson in that last heat, 2:09.71. This is a brilliant swim for Harvey Reid in lane 9, though. Look at this. Way out in front here. Now, Harvey, he's only swum 2:09 this season, but he does have a PB of 2:07 from last year. So he is trying to get under 2:07, and I think he's got a chance of doing that, to be quite honest with you as well, the way he's going here. Harvey Reid going well. Then 2 lanes from the bottom, that's Sam Adams looking good as well. And in lane 6, Martin Yankoff. And remember, we're also watching in lane 5, Monty Smith. Harvey Reid then into the wall, and 2:07.21's a new PB. Well done, Harvey. Great swim there. Martin Yankoff, 2:09.15, a new PB. Third there, Sam Adams, 2:09.44, PB for him. Monty Smith was 4th, and his time 2:09.52 is our fastest 16-year-old so far. He qualifies for the 16 years final with that performance. And everybody else has to wait and see if they get in the 17-18 final. I think Harvey Reid is in with a chance with 2:07.21. And maybe Martin Yankoff. We'll have to keep an eye on the times. Okay, on we go to heat number 10. And in this heat, we've got a 16-year-old swimmer again, Ross Edwards in lane 2. And we also have some 17, 18-year swimmers. Our swimmers in Heat 10 are Zach Sheriff for Wickham District, Lewis Maxwell for Northumberland and Durham Performance, Benjamin Guthrie for City of Milton Keynes, Jamie Gray for Plymouth College Aquatics, Edward Markle Whittles for Chelsea and Westminster, Finley Pope for Stockport Metro, Oscar Barlow for Swansea University, Ross Edwards for City of Cardiff, Reece Blackett for Newcastle Swim Team, and Jake Franz for Worksop Dolphins. Harvey Reid and Martin Yankov from the last heat do qualify, by the way, for the 17s and 18s final with their time. So Harvey Reid and Martin Yankov will be in their final with their swims there. So well done to both of those swimmers. Right, turning here in lane 3, Oscar Barlow, 59.16 in the 19s and overs. The swimmers here, the age groups, well, we have that 16-year-old Ross Edwards in lane 2. We have 17, 18 swimmers in 9, Zach Sheriff, 7, Benjamin Guthrie, 6, Jamie Gray, 4, Finley Pope, and Jake Franz in 0. And the rest are 19s and overs. That's Lewis Maxwell in 8, Edward Markle Whittles in 5, Oscar Barlow in 3, and Reece Blackett in lane 1. There are only 10 swimmers competing in the 19s and overs, so the 19s and over swimmers, as long as they're not disqualified, will all qualify for their final. Okay then, in lane 6, it's Jamie Gray who's going to try to get into the 17s and 18s final here. 205.22, he does exactly that. Jamie Gray just outside his lifetime best there. Oscar Barlow, 206.02. So he qualifies for the 19s and overs. So all of the 19s and overs get into their final as long as they're not disqualified. We'll look at the other times then. For 17s and 18s, Jake Franz qualifies for the final. Finley Pope will qualify as well. Benjamin Guthrie qualifies. Zach Sheriff with 209.13 will also qualify. All 10 of those swimmers are going to be in their finals, I believe. I think I'm right in saying that. So 10 qualifiers for the final, I believe. I will try to check that very quickly for you. That would be quite an achievement with 2 heats still to swim. Just looking down the results so far. Here we go with heat 11. Yes, all 10 swimmers from that last heat do qualify for their finals. Ensign Owen, 3 lanes from the top there, moved his head just before the start. Well, it will be up to the officials to decide if that was a faulty start or not. I don't think he left the blocks, but it's up to the officials to make decisions, of course. Our 9 swimmers in this heat are Oliver Davis Tutil for City of Sheffield, Henry Taylor for Stockport Metro, Jensen Owen for City of Sheffield, Bryden Byrne for Mount Kelly. Lane 5 is empty. Then it's Samuel Greenbank for City of Sheffield, Fergus Thompson for Mount Kelly, Finn Brookhoven for Wickham District, Jonathan Ireland for Maidenhead, and Toby Nakamura-Drew for Plymouth College Aquatics. Samuel Greenbank first at the turn, then in 28.13, followed by Fergus Thompson. And we have 2 16-year-old swimmers here. Toby Nakamura-Drew in lane 0. And 3 lanes from the top of the picture, Jensen Owen in 7. So the 16-year-olds trying to get in their final. The 17s and 18s is the competitive section at the moment, because we know all the 19s and overs will get into their finals if they are not disqualified. So we've got Finn Brookhoven and Samuel Greenbank, who should qualify from this heat in lanes 2 and 4. In the final heat, we've got 5 17, 18 year swimmers expected to swim. At the turn, it's Fergus Thompson and then Samuel Greenbank. They're in 2 separate age groups, so they won't race each other when it comes to the finals. I think they will both qualify for finals with the way they're swimming here. So Fergus Thompson in lane 3, leading from Samuel Greenbank. Lane 6 finishing hard, Brendan Brydenburn trying to get into the 17s, 18s final. And 2 lanes from the top, Henry Taylor in the same age group. These two touch first and second. Fergus Thompson, 2:03.74. And then Samuel Greenbank in 2:03.83. In terms of 17s and 18s, qualifying there for sure. Fergus Thompson, our heat winner. Henry Taylor in 3rd place, definitely qualifies for the 17-18 final with that time. In 4th place, Oliver Davis Tootil also qualifies. So too Brydenburn. Jonathan Islands in the final there as well. And in the 16 years, well, Jensen Owen definitely qualifies. Toby Nakamura Drew, I think he'll qualify, but we've got one more 16-year-old swimmer to swim. So it's not absolutely guaranteed. Of those 9 swimmers, we've either got 8 or 9 qualifying for their finals, though. On we go to heat 12. And in our final heat, we have Oliver Baskerville for Hatfield, Aidan Orpin for Sutton and Cheam, Benjamin Cross for City of Sheffield, Hubert Gdanich for University of Bath, Isaac Thompson for Mount Kelly, Matthew Ward for Bath Performance Centre, Jack Doherty-Simpson for City of Glasgow, Finley Davis for University of Stirling, Joseph Box for City of Birmingham, and Finley Bruce for Perth City. Finley Bruce in lane 0 is a 16-year swimmer. Now, first at the turn, Matthew Ward is in the 19s and over. Second at the turn, Isaac Thompson is in the 17s and 18s. 17s and 18 swimmers in this heat. Lanes 9 and 8, Oliver Baskerville and Aidan Orpin. In 5, Isaac Thompson. In 3, Jack Doherty-Simpson. And in 1, Joseph Box. And in the 19s and overs, Benjamin Cross in 7, Hubert Gdanich in 6, Matthew Ward in 4, Finley Davis in lane 2. Ward and Thompson leading the way. As we know, they won't swim side by side in the final because they will qualify for different finals with their swims here, but they're both on their way to their finals respectively comfortably with these swims. And Matthew Ward really extending his lead there on that last 50, and a huge 50 metres for him. A huge turn as well. Look at these big turns from so many of the swimmers in this final heat. And Matthew Ward then coming home, swimming in the 19s and overs category. The fastest time we've had so far, 2:03.73. I think we will get quicker than that here for Matthew Ward. And his time is 2:00.67. He's the fastest swimmer across the 12 heats. Well done there to Matthew Ward then, setting our fastest time. Isaac Thompson 2:04.00 into the 17s and 18s final then as a result. In the 17s and 18s, qualifying there, Isaac Thompson, Jack Doherty-Simpson, Joseph Box and Oliver Baskerville. I'll have to do some maths to check whether Aidan Orpin qualifies. And in the 16 years there, of course, Finley Bruce with 206.53. They are both into their finals. So well done everybody there in the men's 200 metres backstroke. Let's see if we can confirm the finalists for you for those events before we get into the next heat. In the 16 years, the qualifiers will be Finley Bruce, Ross Edwards, Monty Smith, Finley Richardson, Jensen Owen, Martin Molnar, Alfie Owen, Jacob Pemberton, Dexter West, Toby Nakamura, Drew. Let's get into women's 100 metres butterfly now, though. Heat 1 of 13, and we have 3 swimmers. So our 3 swimmers in Heat 1 there are Natalie Hebel for Chelsea and Westminster, Charlotte Craig for Ren 96 and Tia Samet for Bedford Swim Squad. And these 3 swimmers are all in the 13-14 age group. First to turn then in lane 3, Tia Samet, followed in there by Natalie Hebel and Charlotte Craig. We've got 19 swimmers in the 13-14 age category, so we're aiming to set the fastest time so far here for that age group. And the time for everybody to chase. Tia Samet first here, and then Natalie Hebel. Anything under 69 seconds is very good for these swimmers, I would say, for all of them. And we're going to get there for Tia Samet, 66.84. She gets a PB. Natalie Hebel, 67.37, good swim. Charlotte Craig, good swim, 68.25. Well done to all 3. 66.84, a new personal best there for Tia Samet. So Tia Samet setting a new lifetime best as we go on to Heat 2. 9 swimmers racing. Our 9 swimmers here are Holly Coleman for Corby, Viana Safey for City of Salford, Ellie Hull for City of Birmingham, Heidi Corbett for Guildford City, Connie Coulthard for Cockermouth, Samantha Taylor for York City Bards, Lois Ward for Nuneaton and Bedworth, Florence Dixon for City of Leeds, and Sophia McMahon for University of Aberdeen Performance. First to the turn in lane 4, Connie Coulthard in 30.20. And second at that turn there, Heidi Corbett, followed by Viana Safey, Sophia McMahon and Ellie Hull. Into the second half of the race then. All of these swimmers in the 13-14 age group. The fastest 3 13-14 swimmers after this heat will qualify for sure for the final. The fastest 2 after this heat qualify for the final for sure. So that looks like we will get Connie Coulthard into the final with 65.27. Yes, she qualifies. Heidi Corbett, 65.81, also qualifying there with those swims. So Connie Coulthard with a new PB, 65.27. Heidi Corbett, new PB, 65.81. We might have other qualifiers to come from that heat as well. Sophia McMahon and Holly Coleman will have to wait and see on the performances in the heats to come. Here comes Heat 3. Our finalists, or our heat swimmers here rather, Lydia Shipley for Middlesbrough, Connie Banerjee for Derby Excel, Eva Ives for Hatfield, Joanne Andrews for Ellesmere College, Rose O'Brien for Portsmouth North Sea, Akimi Futatsugi for City of Bristol, Libby Shum for Torfin Dolphins, Holly Jocelyn for Exeter City, Millie Threlfall for City of Leeds, and Esme Wykes for Millfields. First to the turn there in lane 3, Libby Shum in a time of 29.52 seconds. And second at that turn was Connie Banerjee for Derby Excel. Swimmers in this heat, we've got 13, 14-year swimmers. Lydia Shipley, Connie Banerjee, Rose O'Brien, Holly Jocelyn and Esme Wykes. We've got 15-year swimmers as well, Joanne Andrews, Akemi Futatsugi, and 16-year swimmers. So as we come to the wall, and it is Joanne Andrews, 64.68 seconds in the 15-year age group. Second there was Holly Jocelyn in 64.72. She gets into the 13-14 final with that time. Libby Shum in the 16 years age group, 65.52. Looking further down, Lydia Shipley, 65.96 into her final. Connie Banerjee also qualifying for the final with that time, 66.06. Rose O'Brien will qualify too. On to heat 4. Other swimmers will qualify, of course, but it depends on what happens in the later heats. I just read out the list of guaranteed qualifiers when I can. Here we go, heat 4. And the swimmers here are Ella Humphreys for Millfields, Maisie Jones for City of Cardiff, Sienna Ramery for Wickham District, Erin Perman for Exeter City, Delilah Martin for Hazelmere, Kalila Smith for Aberdeen, Iris Hurst for Warrington Warriors, Honey Robinson for Northumberland and Durham Performance, Mai Hayakawa for Barnet Copthall, and Francesca Harrison for the City of Leicester. Turning first then is going to be our swimmer in lane 5, Delilah Martin. And then Erin Perman in lane 6. Delilah is a 16-year swimmer, Erin Perman a 15 years swimmer. We have two 16-year-old swimmers in this, three 16-year-old swimmers in this heat in 7, 5 and 0. Sienna Ramery, Delilah Martin and Francesca Harrison. So Delilah Martin in 5 and in 6, Erin Perman. Erin Perman coming through the 15-year-old, 64.98. That's a good swim for Erin Perman there. First, Erin Perman, 64.98, which is our second fastest 15-year-old time so far. Sienna Ramery, 65.83. I'll make that our third fastest 16-year-old up to this stage. Here comes heat 5. And the swimmers are in heat 5 as follows. Jasmine Vartiez for Repton, Ella Faulkner for Stockport Metro, Ellen Winstanley for City of Hereford, Henrietta Chick for Winsford, Maisie Fisher for Millfield, Asha Mahanta for Worcester, Tuman Rachel Ho for City of Birmingham, Agata Sherbakova for City of Coventry, Malika Onobrache for Barnet Copthall, and Favour Umo for City of Bristol. And at the turn, it is lane 2, Agata Sherbakova who leads. Favour Umo with a huge turn though, putting her out in front now. Favour's in the 15-year-old age group, and she could be pushing for a 15-year-old place in the final here. Henrietta Chick in lane 6 is the only 16-year-old, well, the leading 16-year-old in this heat by qualifying times, but we do have 5 16-year-olds in the heat, so we're looking at the times for possible qualifiers. Agata Sherbakova, 64.44. And for Agata, with that time, it's the fastest by a 15-year-old, so it qualifies for the final, 64.44. Tuman Rachel Ho probably qualifies for the 15-year final. We'll have to wait and see. Jasmine Varchia, 64.92. That's our fastest time by a 16-year-old swimmer so far. So she will, I think, qualify. The other 16-year-olds there will have to wait and see. Here's heat 6. And our finalists, heat swimmers, here with lane 8 empty. We have Isha Howes for Gloucester City in 9. Then it's Charlotte Thompson for Midlothian in 7. Orla McInnes for Heart of Midlothian in 6. Ellie McLeod for Woking. Nancy Knight for Guildford City. Emma Hill for Teddington. Ksenia Mann for Menzies Hill and Whitehall Swimming. Well, that should probably be Mingis Hill and Whitehall Swimming. Ruby Maldoni for City of Bristol and Olivia Baring for Brompton. First at the turn there was Ksenia Mann, followed by Isha Howes. We've got Emma Hill here in lane 3, who's a 13-14 swimmer. And Emma Hill there in lane 3, in the white cap you can see. In the middle of the pool though, in lane 4, it's Nancy Knight coming through very strongly into the last 5. And Nancy Knight, 64.26, swimming in the 17s and 18s age group there. That's a good swim for her. Second place there, Orla McInnes. Emma Hill, 66.97. That isn't going to get in the 13-14 final, I'm afraid. So neither will Ellie McLeod qualify. 66.23. We'll have to wait and see if that gets in the 15 years final. Here is heat 7. Our 10 swimmers here are Eleanor Porter, Honor Luckhurst, Eleanor for Camden Swiss Cottage, Honor for Preston, Miley Aram for Derby Excel, Janie Finch for City of Leicester, Lily Stansfield for Harrogate District, Lily Green for Mount Kelly, Lily O'Neill for Stockport Metro, Phoebe Wetherill for Doncaster Darts, Amber Hinton for Dumfries, and Edith Lee for City of Cardiff. And in lane 3, first to turn there is Lily O'Neill, just ahead of Phoebe Wetherill. Into the last 50 then. And we have Eleanor Porter in the 13-14s on the far side. We've got several 15-year-old swimmers in this heat. And we'll get some 15-year-olds, I think, qualifying for the final in this heat. So keep an eye on those times. First to the wall, Lily O'Neill, 64.30. That's our second fastest time so far for 17, 18-year-olds. Phoebe Wetherill, 64.47. That qualifies for her final for sure. Lily Stansfield, 64.85. Yep, I think that will qualify. Not absolutely guaranteed right now. Lily Green, I think, will also qualify for with 65.30. But we have to do a bit of calculation to make absolutely sure, with several swimmers in those age groups still to come. I think from that race, we will have 15-year-old swimmers qualifying probably the first 5 of those 15-year-olds. It's only probably, I have to say. So when you look at this result, our first 5 15-year-olds, I think, will probably get in. You have to get under 66.62, I think, to be sure. This result hasn't been confirmed just yet. Here we go. We do have the result confirmed. So Eleanor Porter in the 13-14 final was 66.38. Amber Hinton, 66.38. I think she will qualify for the 15s final. So that would mean Lily Green qualifies and Lily Stansfield. But we do have some more swimmers to come in that age group. Here comes Heat 8. Our swimmers in Heat 8 are Jasmine Carter for Basildon and Phoenix, Alyssa Lowe for City of Leicester, Amelia Fenner for Basildon and Phoenix, Eloise Cole for Repton, Kira Pemble for Eyemouth and District, Alexandra Mosver for Stockport Metro, Katie Oliver for Arran Tridents, Ailey Robertson for South Ayrshire, Martina Karabach for Chelsea and Westminster, and Sadie Hunter for City of Peterborough. First to the turn here will be lane number 6. Eloise Cole. We've got the full list of qualifiers now for the 13-14 age group. Holly Jocelyn, Connie Coulthard, Heidi Corbett, Lydia Shipley, Connie Banerjee, Rose O'Brien, Eleanor Porter, Sophia McMahon, Holly Coleman and Lois Ward. Samantha Taylor will miss out by 2/100ths of a second on a place in the final, I believe, there. And Tia Samet missing out by 8/100ths and Viana Safey by 0.12. Here we go in this heat then, and in lane 8, Alyssa Lowe in the 17s and 18s is going to touch first in 63.53, our fastest swimmer so far there, Alyssa Lowe. Second there was Sadie Hunter in 63.97. We've got 15-year-olds Amelia Fenner, 64.42, qualifying for her final. Jasmine Carter, 16-year-old, 64.82, that will qualify for the 16 years final. Here comes Heat 9. Our swimmers here are Grace Greenhalgh, Grace Yardley, Harriet Smith. Grace Greenhalgh for City of Norwich, Grace Yardley for Brompton, Harriet Smith for Bristol and South Gloucestershire. Then it's Lacey Roberts for Plymouth College Aquatics, Lucy Grant for City of Newport Swimming, Kiana Kurtzer for Warrender Baths, Zara Fitzpatrick for Bristol and South Gloucestershire, Isabel Brand for Rugby, Eve Whitney for Tilehurst, and Isabella Nightingale Ellis for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson. First at the turn there, Eve Whitney for Tilehurst in 29.12, just ahead of Lucy Grant, swimming in lane 5. Into the final 25 metres then. And in lane 4, Kiana Kurtzer coming through strongly. We've got 115-year swimmer Grace Yardley in this one, 2 lanes from the top of the screen, and a 16-year-old Isabel Brand. But first to the wall, Kiana Kurtzer in 62.91. Our fastest swim so far. So that will qualify for the 17s and 18s final. Eve Whitney, 63.26. I think she'll qualify as well. Isabel Brand, 63.91. She's in the 16 years final with that. Grace Yardley, 64.17, also qualifies for the 15 years final. Heat 10, 4 heats to come. And the swimmers in this heat are in lane 9 on the far side of the pool. Olivia Greenall for City of Norwich, Ellie Kennington for Plymouth College Aquatics, Evelyn Toy for Bristol and South Gloucestershire, Jessica Huggins for Swim Bournemouth, Lucia Leslie for City of Salford, Lily Grover for the Royal School Wolverhampton, Ines Greenman Beetham for Camden Swiss Cottage, Isla Jones for City of Sheffield, Madeline Hine for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson, and Matilda Ashcroft for City of Leeds. We've got a full list of qualifiers now for the 15 years, with all the 15-year swimmers having competed. So Grace Yardley, Amelia Fenner, Agata Sherbakova, Phoebe Wetherill, Tuman Rachel Ho, Joanne Andrews, Lily Stansfield, Erin Perman, Favour Umo and Lily Green. And here in lane 4, it's Lily Grover leading Jessica Huggins. Or maybe Jessica Huggins might just be leading as we get into the final 5. And also going well, Ellie Kennington. And it is Huggins who touches first, 62.29. So Jessica qualifies for the 17s and 18s final with that. Lily Grover, 62.6. She should qualify as well with that time. For 16-year-olds, Lucia Lesty, 63.77 qualifies. 63.97, Madeline Hind qualifies. Olivia Greenall, 64.23, also through to their final. Here's Heat 11. Nine swimmers racing here. Gracie Owen for Torfin Dolphins Performance, Sierra Broadbelt for Mount Kelly, Candice Hall for City of Sheffield, Shola Robinson for City of Sheffield. There's an empty lane, lane 5, then it's Shannon Stott for City of Sheffield, Kate Clifton for City of Sheffield, Ella Thornburg for Crawley, Emily Maxwell for Northumberland and Durham Performance, and Georgia Holgate for City of Cambridge. And turning first in lane 3, Kate Clifton in 27.42 seconds. The first 4 swimmers at the turn, all City of Sheffield swimmers. I wonder if we'll get the first 4 at the end of this 100 metres, all from the City of Sheffield as well. Let's see what happens. It's certainly a tussle for the leads between 2 City of Sheffield swimmers, Kate Clifton and Shannon Stott. And I think we will get the first 4 here from the City of Sheffield, the way things are going. So it's Shannon Stott, then Kate Clifton. Stott 60.04, Clifton 60.73, Candice Hall in 61.47, and Shola Robinson does make it a 1-2-3-4 for City of Sheffield with 62.15 seconds. 60.04, that will get Shannon Stott into her final. Kate Clifton, I think, should qualify as well with that. Others have to wait and see. In the 17s and 18s, Sierra Broadbelt and Gracie Owens, I think they both make it as well. Here is Heat 12, 2 heats to come. And we have 9 swimmers competing here. Charlotte Smith for Norwich Swan, Millie Harris for West Norfolk, Kira Morris for City of Glasgow, Sky Carter for Basildon and Phoenix, Edith Price for Mount Kelly, Betsy Wizard for Northampton, Holly Hibbert for Bath Performance Centre, then the empty lane, and it's Sophie King swimming for Woking and Seren Talentire for Northumberland and Durham Performance in lane 0, the lane closest to us. Lane 4, first to turn, Betsy Wizard in 28.33 seconds there. And Betsy looking strong on this second 50 as well. This is good performance from Betsy Wizard. Out in front then into the last 15 metres. And Betsy Wizard being followed in by Edith Price, Scar Carter and Holly Hibbert. And they finish in that order with Betsy Wizard going under 60 seconds, 59.95. Our first swimmer under 60 in these heats. So Betsy will qualify for her final. Edith Price, 61.15, our fastest qualifier for the 16 years so far. 17s and 18s. You have to go under 102.78 at the moment to be guaranteed a place in the final. And here is the final heat, Heat 13. Nine swimmers racing. Poppy Lawrence for Leatherhead, Susie McNair for University of Stirling, Sophie Murray for Harrogate District, Catherine Renfrew for Perth City, Lucy Grieve is in lane 4 with the lane 5 being empty. Lucy Grieve, University of Stirling, Phoebe Cooper, City of Sheffield, Coco Crox for South Lanarkshire, Abigail McInerney for Inverclyde, and Matilda Potter for City of Leeds. Out in front then, Lucy Grieve looking very strong into the 50-metre turn. 27.75 the split there for Lucy, just ahead of Phoebe Cooper. And we're looking for qualification places then. This is the final heat. Lucy Grieve is obviously going to qualify for the 19s and over with this performance. Two names from the top, Susie McNair, looks like she's going into the 17s and 18s final, and Phoebe Cooper as well. And in lane 0, Matilda Potter should also qualify, I think, with those times. I'll have to have a quick look at the results. We've got 16-year-olds as well in there. We've got Abigail McInerney with 63.97, who was 9th. And that qualifies for the 16 years final. For the 17s and 18s, all of those 17s and 18s swimmers qualify for their final. And for 19s and overs, well, Lucy Grieve qualifies. Sophie Murray, 63.11. Still got to do some maths to be absolutely sure whether 63.11 will get into the final for the 19s and overs. Sophie Murray, then let's have a quick look, if you bear with me, as I look down the full set of results from the heats. Sophie Murray, no, she will be in 11th place, so she doesn't get into her final there. Okay, on to men's 50 metres butterfly heats now. 5 swimmers in heat 1. 4 15-year-olds and a 16-year-old. Alex Bates, Oscar Duval, Robert Shipley, Rafael Coliano and William Davis will be swimming in this heat. And while we've got a break, I'll read out the qualifiers that we have from the finals from the women's 100 butterfly. In the 16 years, Edith Price, Lucia Lesty, Isabel Brand, Abigail McInerney, Madeline Hind, Olivia Greenall, Jasmine Carter, Jasmine Varchez, Libby Schumann, Millie Threlfall. Actually, I think we're going to have a swim-off for the 16-year final. Millie Threlfall and Ellen Winstanley with the same time for joint 10th. And I think a swim-off in the 17s, 18s as well, you know. Here we go, men's 50 metres butterfly. Heat 1. So men's 50 metres butterfly. Our swimmers here, Alex Bates for Chesterfield, Oscar Duval for Biddulph, Robert Shipley for Middlesbrough, Rafael Coliano for City of Cambridge, and William Davis for Newquay Cormorants. And PBs in this heat for anyone really who goes under 27.3. So Robert Shipley gets a PB, 26.8. Oscar Duval, 27.00. Alex Bates, 27.29, also a PB. Rafael Coliano with 27.95. That's a good time for him. 3 100s outside his personal best. And William Davis gets a PB as well, 28.11. So 4 PBs and 1 swimmer, just 3 100s of a second outside a personal best there. Well done. We have 10 swimmers in this heat. Carol Alexander, Jaden Phillips, Elliot Griffiths, Tarek Blook, Benjamin Roberts, Elliot Hughes, Eden Rowe, Edward Hodgson, Joshua Burkill and Jack Stoneman. And in lane 5 here, Benjamin Roberts looks like he's going very well in the middle of the pool. And also coming through strongly here in lane 6, Tarek Blook. They are first and second, Eden Rowe third. So well swum everyone there. Benjamin Roberts in the 16-year age group, 26.29. Tarek Blook in the 15s, 26.68. You'll have to check the results. I believe there might have been a difference in the time in the women's 100 metres butterfly. from earlier, so maybe only one swim off, but please check Aquatics GB website to be absolutely sure. Here we go, heat 3 of the men's 50 metres butterfly. Our swimmers here are Damien Frachet-Krieger, Maximus Major and Owen Wilson. Then we have an empty lane. Oliver Linehan in 5, Ethan Collins, Matthew Clark, Samuel Andrews, James Biddick and Jacob Bacon. And in lane 3 going very well here, Matthew Clark for Eastbourne. As they go into the wall, it's Matthew Clark, I think, 26.04, that's a PB. Oliver Linehan, 26.24 PB as well. Well swum there, James Biddick, 26.34 PB. Samuel Andrews, 26.39, also with a PB, so lots of PBs in there, that's great. On to heat 4. Nine swimmers in this heat. Adam Michael for Northumberland and Durham Performance. Thomas Woofenden, Benjamin Dale Wood, Lucas Thomas, Oliver Hodsich, Ross Anderton, Yassin Kamel, Harrison Galloway and George Bailey. And we're going very well in lanes 8, 7 and 6 here. Thomas Woofenden, Benjamin Dale Wood and Lucas Thomas. And it looks like lane 7, Benjamin Dale Wood might just be ahead as we go into the wall. They all stretch for it. Benjamin Dale Wood, 26.25. Thomas Woofenden, 26.39. That's a PB for Benjamin. Lucas Thomas, 26.49 was 26.48, sorry. Lucas Thomas with a PB by 1/100th of a second for Lucas. Harrison Galloway was 4th there in 26.46. That's 26.56. That's a joint PB for Harrison. On to heat 5. Our swimmers in heat 5 are Henry Taylor, Harry Cook, Jasper Harrison, Eamon Jaridi, Patrick Harriman, Archie Tebbett, Harley Williams, Aaron Bissett, Edward Henwood and Toby Hodgson. And going well in lane 2, that's Aaron Bissett. And in lane 0 as well, Toby Hodgson looking strong into the last 5. And also in lane 6, strong finish from Eamon Jaridi, but it's Harley Williams who gets 3rd. Edward Henwood, 26.55, finishing in 1st. And that is a first swim under 26 seconds for Edward Henwood. Aaron Bissett also under 26 seconds for the first time. Harley Williams in 25.78, also under 26 for the first time. Eamon Jaridi under 26 for the first time. Jasper Harrison under 26 for the first time. All of these swimmers moving their performances on very well. Our swimmers in this heat are Ryan Hardy, Toby Nakamura-Drew, Logan van der Meulen, Sebastian Williams, Riley Perry, Ben Gooch, Demetrius Gonyas, Andrew Hunter, Ethan Stubbs Green and Achilles Bello Omenyo. Ryan Hardy in lane 9 on the far side. He's out in front here and he's out in front by some way. He's got his head down, barely breathing. Has he taken a breath yet? Ryan Hardy into the wall in 25.07. Almost a second faster than he's ever swum the 50 fly before. Huge PB. Second there, Achilles Bello Omenyo with a PB as well. Logan van der Meulen, PB. Riley Perry, 25.63 to finish 4th. Sebastian Williams 25.71. On we go to heat 7. And the swimmers here are Elliot Dunnett, Alessandro Donofrio, Finley Nelson, Charles Simpson, Ethan Richards-Knight, James Kilpatrick, Ralph Sorecki, Amel Delanin, Sam Smith and Nebi Sengula. In the middle of the pool, lane 6, Charles Simpson going well, Ethan Richards-Knight as well. And in lane 8, Alessandro Donofrio. I think they will be the first 3. It's all about the touch though. Amel Delanin got up there to get second. Charles Simpson first, 25.04. PB for Charles. Amel Delanin, 25.07. That's a PB as well. Alessandro Donofrio, 25.15 PB. Ethan Richards-Knight, 25.21 PB. Ralph Sorecki only missing his PB by a couple of hundredths there. And we move on to heat 8. We have three heats left to swim. Swimmers in this heat: Benji Jeffries, Colton Dorfeld, Thomas Lydiard, Ethan Soppett-Moss, Nicholas Finch, Dean Fern, Aidan Cannon, Chengzi Duan, Maximus Lee and Thomas Williams. Aidan Cannon's off to a good start here, but coming through very strongly, Dean Fern. And Dean Fern, I think, is going to win this one ahead of Aidan Cannon. And who's going to get third on this heat? It's Nicholas Finch, 24.58. Dean Fern with 23.78. Aidan Cannon 24.36 there. That's a PB for Aidan Cannon. Nicholas Finch 24.58 seconds. Third there was Chengzi Duan, 24.75. Heat 9, 2 heats to come. And the swimmers here are Harry Chandler, Jensen Norris, Thomas Parrott, Aidan Kay, Jack Brown, Lewis Fraser, Jamie Ingram, Christopher Finch, Joseph Way and Samuel Sutcliffe. Lewis Fraser out in front. Second, I would say at the moment, is Jamie Ingram. And then battling for third here, Jack Brown and Aidan Kay. It looks like the 4 in the middle would be 1, 2, 3 and 4. It's Lewis Fraser in 23.84, Jamie Ingram 24.37, Jack Brown 24.45, Aidan Kay 24.75. Good swims. And these swimmers now will be qualifying for finals. I'm sure you'll appreciate the swims come so thick and fast. I can't really bring you and update you on the final qualifiers as we go, but if you check the Aquatics GB website results service, you will see the qualifiers. Everything will be official in there. Our final heat is heat 10. Nine swimmers competing here: Dion Edwards, Miles Kinlan, then the empty lane, then it's Ji Gong, Abdul Jabbar Adama, Jacob Peters, Shakil Jordani, Kieran Lennox, Lachlan Parrott and Joshua Shepherd. And it's Jacob Peters looking very strong with Abdul Jabbar Adama keeping up with him. They'll be 1 and 2, and I think in third place it looks like it'll be Ji Gong, 24.45, just ahead of Shakil Jordani. So swimmers there qualifying for finals. Jacob Peters will be in the 19s and overs. Abdul Jabbar Adama will be in the 17s and 18s final with that time. Ji Gong will be in the 19s and overs. Go to the Aquatics GB website. You'll find all of the results there. You'll find the start list later for the finals, so you'll get it confirmed which swimmers have made it through. We do try to keep you up to date as we go through, but there isn't much time to do that. We now have women's mixed classification 100 metres breaststroke heats. There will be 2 heats to be swum in this event, and we have 3 swimmers swimming in heat 1. Our 3 swimmers are Iona Winifred for Tunbridge, a 14-year swimmer born in 2011. Imogen Dodds for Northampton, an SB13 swimmer. Iona Winifred, by the way, SB7, and Grace Harvey, SB5. Remember, it's the points totals that matter in the para swimming events. We're expecting 9 swimmers to compete in the next heat. So 1 swimmer from this heat is guaranteed a place in the final and potentially more. Iona Winifred turning first then, 40.08. Imogen Dodds, 40.91. And turning now, Grace Harvey. So Iona Winifred is just ahead, and it's good to see Imogen Dodds as well, because these two are pushing one another. They're actually having a race. So often we get races with a handful of swimmers, and it's really good to have somebody pushing you along. Makes a huge difference. I'd be pretty confident that Iona's going to score the highest number of points in this heat, though. This is going to be a really good time. If you get over 800 points, that is hugely top class, and that's 962. That is a new British record for Iona Winifred in the SB7 category. 127.19. And she'll qualify for the final with that, of course. Grace Harvey gets 892 points with 144.7, well, 144.47. Remember, this event is a qualifier for the World Para Swimming Championships. The selectors will be making selections on Monday, and they'll be considering performances here at these championships. Iona Winifred, 127.19. She already had the consideration time for the 100 metres breaststroke, so you can be pretty sure she will be in the team when it's confirmed on Monday for the World Championships in Singapore. So the points totals in that last heat were 962, 892 and 575. Iona Winifred will definitely qualify for the final. Let's see how many points these swimmers score in heat 2. Well, 8 swimmers competing, so only one of the 11 across the 2 heats is going to miss out on a place in the final. It's the swimmer with the lowest points total. Grace Harvey, with 2 empty lanes here. Grace Harvey from heat 1 qualifies for the final. Our swimmers in this heat are Alia Richards for Crawley, Louise Fiddis for Hatfield, Olivia Newman-Baronius for Maxwell. Then the empty lane, lane 5. Then it's Brock Whiston for London Disability, Sienna Oxby for Stockport Metro, Faye Rogers for University of Aberdeen Performance, Grace Robinson for City of Manchester Aquatics, and Ella Williams for Swindon. The swimmers in the para-swimming events are arranged so that the fastest swimmer is on the furthest side of the pool. That's Alia Richards. And by times over the course of the year, the swimmers get gradually slower. So there should really be a nice diagonal line across the pool. And anybody who's ahead of that diagonal line, you know, is swimming ahead of their expectations. Alia Richards is going very well here. SB14 swimmer, 930 points for Alia Richards. 113.78 in SB14. And I believe that's under the consideration time for the World Championships. Ella Williams in lane 0 is not going to qualify for the final, I'm afraid. Our other swimmers there will qualify, but the final place, all 3 swimmers from Heat 1 will qualify. Imogen Dodds will qualify, and our first 7 swimmers there by points. And look at those points totals, 930, 823. Joint points totals there for Olivia Newman-Baronius and Louise Fiddis. Brock Whiston, 798. Really good swimming there from those swimmers. Very impressive, in particular, with a couple of swims over 900 points. And a final to come, a chance to swim even faster maybe in the final this evening. Now we have men's multi-classification 200 metres freestyle. We have a total of 14 swimmers entered, and they are all S14 categories. So really, you just need to watch the clock to decide which 10 swimmers get into the final here. In Heat 1, we have William Newton for City of Coventry, Corey Hare for Team Ipswich, Nathan McManus for Plymouth College Aquatics, and William Reid for City of Swansea Aquatics. Times here around 2 minutes 10 would be very, very impressive for any of these swimmers. I wonder if we can get something like that. We've got faster swimmers to come in the second heat. So S14 swimmers here together. We will see the points totals at the end, and it's always a good measure to see, you know, as close as we can get to 1,000 points. And we see they are obviously world-class performances. We're probably looking at 900 and above in the S14 category to be considered top level. And we do have the world record holder to come in the second heat. Turning first in at 100 metres, William Newton, then William Reid, Corey Hare and Nathan McManus. So turning in 63 and 64 seconds there, and I think if we can get times of 2:10 for anyone, that would be really brilliant performances in this heat. And I think we're roughly around that time. Into the turn. And it is William Newton out in front, Corey Hare second, then William Reid and Nathan McManus. How many of these swimmers can go under 2:10? Well, that's what we, I think, could reasonably be setting as a really good benchmark for swims in this heat. We might get 1 or 2, let's see, as we get into the wall. William Newton into the last 5 metres. It's going to be very close to that 2:10 time. 2:10.66 for 618 points. And then Corey Hare, Nathan McManus and William Reid. So our fastest 2 times there. 2:10.66, 2:11.93. The swimmers in our next heat will be looking at that. And thinking they'll have to beat those times to get into the final. have 10 swimmers racing in the second heat. And as you can see, they're all S14 swimmers, just as we had all S14 swimmers in Heat 1. Will Ellard in lane 9 is actually the world record holder. Here we go with Heat 2. Our swimmers in this heat then: Will Ellard, Dylan Broome, Rhys Darby, Mark Tomsit, Cameron Vienkem, Jason van der Meer, Rio Rogers, Harry Stewart, Jude Gunner and Jack Milne. 4 lengths to the pool. And we would expect the fastest swimmers to be on the far side. Remember, 2:10.66 is the cut-off time for swimmers to guarantee a place in the final. We will see the points totals, but with everyone in the same classification, it's the times that we can really rely on. And this is a very strong heat, with the swimmers pushing each other along. So on the far side, that's Will Ellard, then Dylan Broome and Rhys Darby, and those three are out in front. Will Ellard, Mark Tomsit and Rhys Darby. So 9, 7 and 6 there. We're expecting to be selected for Singapore for the World Para Champs. And you can see they're just that little bit ahead of everybody else. So that's the difference between getting on the GB team for the World Para Swimming Championships and being just outside. You can almost see how close it is. Consideration time in this event, 1:54.34, which is very, very quick indeed. But let's see how many swimmers in this heat can qualify for the final, because qualifying for the final means you also get a second chance to swim, you get a second chance to prepare and warm up and get everything ready and try and go even quicker again and do it with the adrenaline pumping in the evening session. Will Ellard and Dylan Broome are going to finish first and second here, 1:59.58, 1:59.72. Then Rhys Darby, 2:01.70, and Mark Tomsit, 2:02.54. Our first 9 swimmers there all qualify for the final. I think Jack Milne is going to miss out with his time there of 2:12.10. So our other 9 swimmers will get another chance to swim. Nine swimmers there, the first 9 swimmers all qualifying. We had a 2:10.66 in Heat 1. So 9 of those swimmers get the chance to swim in the evening session and potentially swim even quicker when the adrenaline is pumping, when we have the music blaring out as well, introducing the swimmers. Everything about it gives everybody the chance of raising their game. Now, women's mixed classification, 100 metres freestyle. 3 heats, 3 swimmers in Heat 1. In Heat 1 then, we have Eliza Humphrey for Northampton, Iona Winifred, fresh off to setting a British record, and Nancy Jubb for Team Bath. Eliza Humphrey for Northampton then has a PB of 1:13, Iona Winifred has a PB of 1:16, and Nancy Jubb 1:20. So first to turn then, Eliza Humphrey, then Iona, and then Nancy. And Eliza looking very strong right now. Eliza Humphrey, our leader. She's got her twin sister Scarlett in the next heat. And Eliza then into the last 15 metres. And Nancy Jubb is going well here. And perhaps understandably, Iona with her second swim in about 10 minutes, slipping back a little bit. Eliza, 648 points with a time of 1:14.61. 652 points for Iona Winifred and 705 for Nancy Jubb. So Nancy with the best performance there, 118.28. And for Nancy, that's a 2-second PB. So the judges now check Eliza's goggles and make sure that they do not allow any light through. And that's why we have a slight delay at the end of the races that feature visually impaired athletes. And once the judges have confirmed they're happy, then we get the result confirmed, and we'll get the result confirmed when it appears on our screens here. In the next heat, we've got 9 swimmers competing. So 22 entrants for this event. And remember, it's the top 10 point scorers who get into the final. Result is confirmed. Nancy Jubb, 705 points. Iona Winifred, 652. And Eliza Humphrey, 648. Here's heat 2 with 9 swimmers. And our swimmers in this one are Evie Lambert for Borough of Kirklees, Megan Willis for Torfin Dolphins Performance, Brooklyn Hale for Cockermouth, Isabella Haynes for Swim Bournemouth, Rebecca Hardy-Bishop for Jersey, Ella Letton-Jones for Nothia Gwynedd Performance, Scarlett Humphrey for Northampton Swimming Club, Brock Whiston for London Disability, and Lily Rice for Pembrokeshire County. We'll be looking to swim under 1:20 for everybody in this heat, I would say. And first at the turn, Evie Lambert, turning in 31.4. And I would say Evie there is swimming close to her best with that time. Megan Willis going well in 7. Brooklyn Hale there in 6 in the yellow cap. And Isabella Haynes. These first 6 swimmers all look like they're going close to their best times with this performance. Evie Lambert's going to touch first then in 735 points for 105.77. Megan Willis 658, but look, Scarlett Humphrey 767 with a 110.56. Brock Whiston 732. And once again, we'll wait for the result to be confirmed. We still have 10 swimmers to come, of course. So the judges will check the goggles before we get the results confirmed. It's a formality. So there we go, result confirmed. Scarlett Humphrey with 767 points. Nancy Jubb from Heat 1 is now in 4th place for a potential place in the final. Iona Winifred scored 652 in the previous heat, so she is currently in 8th. And we have 10 swimmers to go. Here's heat 3, the final heat. And we have 9 swimmers in this heat. So that means we have Scarlett Humphrey qualifying for the final from the previous heat for sure. She's got the highest points total so far. She will swim again. Our swimmers here, Poppy Maskill for Manchester Performance Centre, Faye Rogers for University of Aberdeen Performance, Bethany Firth for Newcastle, Georgia Sheffield for Bolton Metro, who turned first there, Callie-Anne Warrington for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson, Amber Haycock for Northampton Swimming Club, Sienna Oxby for Stockport Metro, Grace Robinson for City of Manchester Aquatics, and Astrid Carroll for Stockport Metro. So coming into the wall now then, in lane 6, Georgia Sheffield is going to touch first, and the score of 904 points, 58.50. That's a new PB for Georgia Sheffield, under 60 seconds for the first time there. 904 points, 58.50 in the S14s. Bethany Firth actually holds the world record at this event. So Georgia Sheffield will qualify for the final. Bethany Firth, Poppy Maskill, essentially everybody who scored more than 767. So that's everybody down to Callie-Anne Warrington. Scarlett Humphrey will qualify with the six highest points total. She was in heat 2. From heat 2 as well, we will have Evie Lambert. She'll qualify. And Brock Wiston will qualify as well. You'll have to check the Aquatics GB website for everything else. We have one heat now of men's mixed classification, 50 metres butterfly. Bruce Deep swimming alone here. So the situation is, with one swimmer in a race, that Bruce will qualify for the final as long as he isn't disqualified. He'll get a second chance to swim tonight, but he'll only get the gold medal if he beats his entry time of 33.75. So Bruce D then looking for a 33.75 here on the 50 fly. Here we go. Bruce going very well here under the flags. He's going to get very close to that PB of 33.75. Just outside, 33.92. That's a great swim. Great swim, 33.92. And in the pool on your own is tough. So Bruce will swim again, and as long as he goes under 33.75 in the final, he'll get the gold medal. So that will be his target tonight. He'll come back and get a chance to swim again. We have a swim off now for a place in the women's 100 metres butterfly final for 17 and 18 years. Gracie Owen and Seren Talentire. They were joint 10th from the heats. So these two swam 62.48 in the heats. Only one swimmer can get into the final. And it's whoever swims the fastest time here who will qualify. Our first target for both swimmers definitely is to get under that time they swam in the heats. Let's go quicker than 62.48. If they both do that, that's a success. So let's hope that might happen. Seren Talentire turning first with quite a significant lead, but this isn't over at all. Gracie Owen coming back, I would say, on this second 50. Seren Talentire Looks like though she is going to hold on, I would say, as we get into the last 10. So let's get under 62.48 if we can. That would be absolutely brilliant for either of these swimmers to improve on their heat time. And Seren does that, 61.48. Gracie Owen just half a second slower. Hey, it's tough to swim that event twice in the same session. Seren Talentire will get the last place in the final. And well done for swimming exactly a second quicker in the swim-off than in the heats earlier. Right, this session is complete. We've had a long session here this morning, longer than planned, and it means there'll be a 15-minute delay to our next session. Our next session, a 15-minute delay. So we'll be back at 1:15 for our next session for our freestyle relay heats. Join us again then, it'll be so exciting, it always is. We've got freestyle relay heats to come in 45 minutes. Thank you again for supporting all of the athletes. It's hugely appreciated. We'll be back very soon.